Everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out there with a big smile, no handcuff by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow, it's off the hip. Yeah, oh, chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out there with a big smile, no handcuff by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow, it's off the hip. Yeah, chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out the arena, big smile, no handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow, it's
a hit. Yes, sir, man. It's your boy HD the King. I'm here with my brother Razor, man. My brother Snake Eyes, man. He's somewhere in the universe with us, man. Tapped in, listening. We're waiting for him to join up. Yes, sir. June 28th. I'm about to say 27th. June 28th episode of SmackDown from the Garden, baby.
The Mecca.
Ooh-wee. Man, I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know where to start, because like the main story was the bloodline, Jacob being like officially, you know what I'm saying?
Well, as far as where to start, where to end, the show started and ended with the same thing with the bloodline.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's where we go. The bloodline appeared, like you said, the bloodline appeared on camera. They just right there, straight up, start off the show. There's no sign of Jacob FATU. Paul Heyman, the wise man, asks him the question, where's Jacob? No Jacob right now.
He said he's not here.
He's not here. Now, all right, just to piggyback off that, that seems to be like a running thing now. We've seen him say that with Roman. We've seen him do that with Jacob this week. Is that just like a way of him is that a way of them telling the story of like, man, I'm going to just feed you whatever I want to feed you. Like whatever I'm telling you is whatever fucking propaganda I'm giving you. Like,
it's most definitely type of way. Like I said, it's just he's saying one thing and he's trying to tell Paul, whatever I said goes. Don't ask no questions. I'll tell you whatever you need to hear.
That's very much what it seemed like to me right there. I'm gonna be honest.
But man, oh man, it's
getting
a little heavier.
Yeah, you see them. So they did this like realism where like you got the bloodline. They're walking from the parking lot area into the arena, and then you have this other car pull up. The camera shows out comes Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and Kevin Owens. I just want to say, this is a little fact for me that I thought was dope, right? I used to be a delivery driver, and I used to make deliveries to Madison Square Garden. That scene that they showed where they was pulling up at, that's like legit authentic to the feel of it. Like, so when I'm there watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, nah, that's fire. Like, they really like on some like timing, like they showing us the behind the scenes. Like, this is what the Garden looked like for real. This ain't like, it didn't feel pre-taped to me at all. And then like you see,
saying for months, attention to detail.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Nothing about that felt pre-taped. Everything just led into the action, into live action. So for me, that was huge right there. We've been noticing that since the Sami Zayn entrance when Jimmy Uso skedaddled.
Or even Jey Uso now, he's coming through the concession booth.
Yeah, like it's not none of these pre-taped backstage. I mean, we still get some pre-recorded stuff, right? Sure, but they're also showing us like again, this is what it is. So I thought that shit was dope. How you felt about I thought the presentation of these three looked better today. I'm gonna be honest. Randy and Kevin.
Another tip you kind of blew past was I did like these subtle touch that they kept Solo's music playing while Cody and folks were coming to the ring. It's supposed to switch into Cody's music. Just little things like that adds that much more mileage onto the moment.
Yeah, things that obviously we haven't seen that done in much years prior. You just hear they're gonna play Cody Rhodes music. Now you know the hero save. It kind of there's something that felt different about how Cody, Kevin, and Randy marched to the ring.
And then we end up with everyone's favorite security bunch after the fact. Again, that's one of those. Again, if you're gonna bring all that extra bullshit out, just sooner rather than later. That way, you're not left with a whole bunch of, all right, well, what do we do now?
I think the coolest things that come out of those moments now are obviously like what we seen on social media after the selling of the Crossroads. You know what I'm saying? Before the last time we seen Cody with the security guards, he threw a chair in somebody's face.
Well, I mean, as far as what we ended up with on social media, I think we still get there, but they could have went about it a lot differently. Like you could have still had them trying to fight. You could have did the little breakup spots here and there. Then
I'm personally done with security spots, bro.
Right, because again, it's hard to make them work. It's way too hard to make them work.
It's you want to know what's so cringy about it? That my wifey watches all of it. My wifey watches it and she's like, "Oh, which one of these are potential wrestlers?" Like, it's not even like
we all know it's all of them.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So it's not even like I'm not sold that this is real security at this point. You know, like today you try to bring the police officers out, sure. Like
it's different than back in the day. Going back in the day, you just pick any mid-level indie guy that's on and up, whatever, have to do a little extra, boom. A little different than now. We know it's folks you got in the performance center that you probably just signed off an NIL deal. Trying to shoot some bucks their way.
Yeah, I mean, just like pretty much everybody that was laid out from the Wyatt 6 attack, you know, we come to find out that they're enhancement talent or whatever, they're in development. And they were used for that.
And now you have security that was that. You have more than likely NYPD as extras on top of that.
Right. And I'm gonna be honest, when you use and there's not, I'm not trying to nitpick here or whatever. The segment wasn't bad. I'm just saying, if you're gonna use cops, like to me, there's never gonna match the segment like when Stone Cold was being hauled out of there in handcuffs, and you know what I'm saying.
I don't, Vince. I don't. You buy a long shot.
Yeah, like unless you're going that route, I don't want to see these cops come in here and like I don't know. It's like again what we speaking about before. Austin and Tyson in the ring, it warrants it for that. Holy shit.
I mean, you got close with Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky a few years ago. You got close there. I'll give you that much. But again, just don't be afraid. If you're going to go that far into the concept, at least just go all in.
Yeah. Now, I could see that. For me, like you said, for you, it's go all in. For me, I could have did without it. Just let them scrap. What's wrong with just...
Well, I'm saying, if you're going to go that far, you may as well just do the whole fucking thing.
The whole shebang.
Don't stop 8/10 of the way there.
Keep inching your way, right? Like,
yeah.
I felt like very much they was inching their way. Like, okay, first comes the security, here comes the cops. Then you just see Cody and them walking away. Like, shit, our fun is done.
And then have Triple H try to convince the cop, hey, if shit were to somehow go like this, are you cool with it? Just out of curiosity, if not, we'll pay the bill in advance. Something, anything, just.
I mean, they got it. Cause I'll be honest. Look, it's different scenarios, right? But we seen video of Brock Lesnar pushing a fucking cop on his way to a UFC ring.
Yep.
And like, get out the way, man. Like he actually put hands on the cop and moved him. Like, get out the way, bro. Like, So, you know, for entertainment purposes, y'all they're ready. We're ready, like for all intents and purposes, using the NYPD on Raw right now. Already, right? It's like,
Vince would have got real cops.
man.
I said it.
But now, what's the benefit? Now, so you feel like there's more realism?
Yes. And it's got nothing to do with the television rating. The minute you go all in the realism, then now you're like, okay, well, maybe they are trying to have a legitimate product. Because again, you have Lesnar put hands on NBA officials. You've had NFL, NBA talent put hands on law enforcement on camera inadvertently.
Mm-hmm.
It happens everywhere. In the heat of the moment, shit's gonna happen.
That was I don't know though. Like, did you feel like that? Did it enhance that program right there? Like, I do feel like the presentation of RKO. They go from 1 week they're sporting these shirts that they got, this new merch, and then 1 week they totally fucking go away from it. So it's like, you know what I mean? To me, it's like, oh yeah, y'all, they're singles guys. But now when you present them to me as RKO like this, they coming out with the same shirt. It feels like, all right, they're on the same page again.
Now, I've never been a fan of any of their mashup products at all.
Okay.
Because again, when you go the mashup route, you're just half-assed. Like, you don't try to create anything original. Just if Jericho, he tried to get creative with it with AJ Jericho, with a Big Show, Miz, and all that. He tried, but generally when you go the mashup route, all you get is a little bit of their song, put it together, get half of their shirt design, half of their design, put it together. There's nothing different about it.
I think they had something but lost it quick with the stunner into the RKO shit. I think that's a very hard sell, right? Like,
I'd much rather see the RKO into Kevin Owens hitting a swanton or something, or even a moonsault.
Like, he's just perching on the top. Like, he's just fucking perching on the top ropes already, and Randy just hit him with the RKO. Bam!
Oh my god!
And Kevin Owens just swanton.
Oh,
yo,
Brother
fellas.
Snakes, man, what's up, bro?
I know. I just see what I think I just see. No, why?
What happened? What happened?
Why?
Oh, you seeing the end of it?
Why? Now go ahead, man. I'm glad to be here. What's up, fellas, man?
What's going on, Brody?
I got some good drink liquor in me. Let's get it.
Now we basically just covering up the beginning. We was just talking. I was asking him how he felt about RKO, right? Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, their presentation with Cody tonight. Like, I feel like it looked a little bit better than last week, or like, you know,
I love the immediate interruption, like, 'cause it felt like Solo was controlling the segment, and then I didn't expect to see Cody and them pull up with the SUV. You feel me? Like, I like that. That was fire.
Yeah, and like you said, adding on to what you're saying, to piggyback to that, I was telling Razor when I was doing deliveries, that's the actual backstage drive-through. So, like, like you said, seeing that happen, action, real live action. This ain't pre-recorded. For me, that shit meant like, oh shit, they really going in right now, bro. Like you said, they cutting off. Like, it's a lot of action happening right now to start off the show, bro. Like 8 o'clock, top of the hour, boom, a lot of shit happening. Are you Snakes? Are you hyped to see this match? Or because I'm still in the opinion of, like, once this is done, I don't want Kevin Owens near this shit. But tonight it made it look a little bit more acceptable to me. Like, I'm be honest.
I think historically, like, Kevin Owens and them are part of history. Like, this bloodline shit is very big. They're a part of it too. I just feel like we keep getting little different little, like, left swings. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole Jacob not being there. Like, oh, I listened to you. I mean, he's not here. People thought he was gonna be here, like, today after his debut last week. So, should we credit WWE for not, like, forcing them on us? You know what I'm saying? Like, and, like, saving that skill, keeping them powerful. Like, then when we see him, we know that's kind of, you know what I mean? Y'all think that's what WWE did with that tonight?
So I took the route of Solo, essentially, as it led into the main event, was Solo kind of telling Paul, "Don't ask me no questions. I'll tell you what you need to hear when I feel like it.
Yeah, I was telling Razor that earlier that I feel like this is Solo's way of this is his propaganda, basically. You know, we hearing it 2 weeks in a row. Last week, yo, Roman's not coming back. Then we hear it tonight, yo, Jacob's not gonna be here. Like he's just saying shit just to be saying shit, you know. But there's a purpose, but why he's saying it, but he's just saying it to control his narrative. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, like kind of like Razor said, yo, bro, don't even ask no questions, bro. Like he not here. What happened? What's gonna change? What's changing if he's here? He's not here. You feel me? So I think that's the angle he going with it right there. As far as WWE keeping, I think they're protecting him. Not even protecting him, but the way that they're using him is just, bro, like it's very well. It's very well. I like how they using him. He's coming out like. You seen how Tamatunga had like the little rabbit shit going on? You seen Jacob in the back, like the werewolf sniffing? Like,
Yeah.
And then you have Tongalo in the back saying, make a move. Just standing there. Make a move. I fucking dare you. Little by little, they're explaining to us as to why we should be okay with Solo challenging Cody and why it very well could be the main event of SummerSlam coming soon.
I'm gonna be real. Wrestling is so good right now. I thought SmackDown was 3 hours. Like I literally thought it was still on. I thought it was still on. Like what's 11? Like dead ass, bro. Wrestling is so good right now. It's crazy.
these 2 hours definitely flow by quick, just like they did the last week. It was a different swing, though. I feel like again, I'm gonna say it just to get out the way. They switched up the set. Razors telling me I seen a smaller set, more intimate set for fit more people in. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with the production. A few black screens, no audio,
That's
See,
Fox,
them-
man. Fox be doing a lot.
a little sabotaging, right? Like,
Yeah, Fox be doing a lot. Like remember it was a show that was a big segment and they was cutting that shit out. I forgot it might have been a Rock in them or something, but Fox be doing that sometimes. I don't know why they be.
But also, if you think about it, like I said, if they're cutting back on certain shit, obviously certain equipment staying in the truck in a very intimate spot like the Garden, if folks are just wilding out off seeing their favorites, they're stomping up and down, shit's gonna come loose.
man,
It's physics. Like it's gonna happen.
I wanna say it's that, but like Backlash in Puerto Rico, like they went to Puerto Rico with an intimate set.
Oh, that's
And
true.
Puerto Rico turned the fuck up for EO Sky and them. Like, so
then there is the other.
That, but
Then there's the unfortunate side in which this could be a coalition or a part to introduce Y6 onto SmackDown. Maybe, I don't know. One of them.
I just think it's a case of kind of like what Snake said. If you look back last week, we had a moment in which we thought they was doing some secret shit with Solo Sikoa. The audio feed went out when he was saying, "Yo, he's telling Paul Heyman to make sure these dudes don't win the Money in the Bank match." And remember, the audio had dropped a little bit. So I don't know. For me, it's just I'm not saying I would see more of this from AEW. This is nothing to worry about with WWE. I'm just pointing it out because it made certain segments like I'm like this, like no, and then just come back to it like, oh, what happened?
Hear me out. You said this is mainly happening in a Solo segment, correct? Or has that been any other segments that you noticed?
Because if it's happening in other segments, but I feel like I'm highlighting Solo because that just like we at the edge of our seats, right? We want to know what's happening. So when it's happening during that, it's like, come on, we could deal with it during the rest of the show, right? Like, you know, a little hiccups here and there throughout the rest of the show. But by the main event, we thought y'all would have had this fixed.
Maybe the regular guy called in sick. I don't know.
No, I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest. WWE's always hitting production wise. So if they missed tonight, unfortunately, I'm going to give them a pass because
it's gonna happen.
I can't like 365 days a year for the last what amount of years, and they might fuck up. Like people had a field day when they had Cody Rhodes as the tag team no name champion or whatever. Remember, like his nameplate said that, like, little things happen, but tonight in terms of audio and visual was a little bit bad, but we was able to.
There's a lot of what ifs, but much like with AW, they'll probably won't even bring it up. They'll just be like, "Yeah, shit happens."
Yeah, for sure. And if the crowd was like in-house attendance, everybody in the building was happy.
Also, Kevin Owens and Tonga Loa were in that area. Maybe they could have kicked something over, and they just never caught on to it.
Man,
who knows? I'm blaming this on KO. Fuck it, he was over there. He was climbing on shit.
The show started off strong. Yeah, started off the Bloodline. We got Randy, we got Cody, KO. It's looking like we're gonna have that 6-man match at what is it gonna be in the Money in the Bank. But did they announce which three are gonna be from the Bloodline? So I know we speculated who we think. Did they officially announce tonight?
I think it's gonna be Solo, Tama, and Jacob. I think. I could be wrong. But yeah. I mean, those three seem like those seems kind of sound like the obvious ones because they've been the most active and everything. They're probably gonna say Tonga Loa is like that silent killer.
Yeah, I definitely feel like tonight was a step in the direction that, like, you see how you usually talk about Solo versus Cody. I think now we're gonna start seeing what happens with Paul Heyman. Remember,
can we jump to that real quick?
Yeah, that's where I want to go. I want to go right there.
I think this might have been his excommunication from the Bloodline.
I think so.
He's out.
Yeah, that's the part that stuck out to me too. Because obviously, yes, he got attacked, but now remember we spoke about this 2 weeks ago. We was like, when do the gears start rolling? And I think last week we got Jacob. This
right
week,
now that key had just flipped the switch. The ignition is on. We are going for it.
Now the PLEs are must see. Even the SmackDowns. The Raws in their own right.
Raw got enough shit going on over there.
Right.
But SmackDown, whoo-wee.
This is must see because at any given moment, look, I'm pretty sure a lot of people speculated aside from the news that you showed us that Zilla's going to be performing tonight, having a match. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought maybe we get Zilla tonight, or he posted that post 24 hours. We sent the world on.
I was checking to see if there was any last minute random unfortunate Zilla will not be performing at a said show, whatever. I was looking for that hard all day. Cause I was like just maybe. Man, but then again, with Jacob, they canceled his indies. What, January, February? But
I think we get that storyline that we was kind of tapping into, where we was like, okay, who can Roman have on his side? And now we obviously seen CM Punk put his name in the hat in terms of defending Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman has CM Punk that can help defend
the enemy. The enemy of the enemy is my friend. Now, could you imagine a world in which you have, we talked to this last week a little bit, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar standing toe-to-toe in unison? I don't care where you put that in the world. Ears will be bleeding.
Those will be the Paul Heyman guys, for real. Like, now we can actually have the official Paul Heyman guys.
And then even throw in the Usos back there too. So you have the ones featuring Punk and Brock versus the Gorillas, Solo, Jake, and even Zilla if it has to be. You don't need Sammy and KO because, again, like I said, after they won the tag belts, that should have been the end of it for them. They're done. They're good. Like they're choosing to stay lashed onto it, but they don't have to. Randy's a little bit different because again, they took 2 years from him.
Also, that's something I kind of skipped over too. You know, Cody's talking about a worthy challenger for his championship, and right behind him, Randy Orton turns his head like
Right when he said the championship, Cody's ears went like this. Boop.
Like, whoa, hold on now.
The Viper tensed up a little bit. Like, wait a minute, huh? You know I'm standing right here, right?
I guess it's the way how we always say, how do we get there, right? Because I think we pretty much been calling for Randy versus Cody as like a potential matchup since Cody won the belt. I'm pretty sure 90 to 99% of people seen that happening, but it's how we gonna get there. And it seems like that little promo could be the gateway.
And to be honest, if it's just gonna be a one and done thing, I don't want to see it. That's got to be a multiple match series because of the history with them.
And I feel like now it can be with what happened tonight with Solo attacking Paul Heyman. I feel like the attention now has shifted. I don't think Solo can focus on trying to get a championship when now he's gonna have to answer for his actions.
But then again, Roman may be on one side, but Rock's definitely on the other.
Right.
So, you know, like I said, I don't foreshadow Roman coming back anytime soon. At least that could be Survivor Series. Maybe my preference would be Rumble, because that way Paul can get some rest, recharge the batteries, because he's gone hard at this for 4.5 years now. So let him get a couple months off to chill out for a little bit. Maybe comes back with the black hair of old. Who knows?
I was thinking that like we might see Paul Heyman go away for a little while and then hit us with that surprise when he eventually does. I mean, because they kind of they did him dirty now. It wasn't just the Samoan Spike. They hit him with a shield bomb through the announce table.
And about 3/4 of them missed the table. Or they dropped him right on his head.
He tumbled. Like, man, as soon as he landed, his legs going.
Once he started going down, gravity just went whoop.
Mm-hmm.
Because he ain't taking something like that in a good minute.
Now, we could go back to the symbolism, or maybe it didn't mean anything. Maybe it did. Jacob was the one delivering the shield bomb. And again, Solo called him his enforcer.
No,
so
yeah, because before, so we have the right-hand man, the enforcer, and the infamous.
And what do you always say about history?
If you don't pay attention, it's going to repeat itself.
And it seems like, okay, so from what I'm getting from it, Solo, you want to repeat your own history without even repeating it correctly, because at least Roman did it and the Usos did it with the belts.
Again,
now if your enforcer turns on you,
there's a lot to unpack with the last 20 minutes of the show.
For sure, because it's like if he's saying that's his enforcer, now I'm looking at it like you was Roman's enforcer and you turned on him. So now it's just a matter of time. Like we all know what's gonna happen. We all what we think is gonna happen.
Like I said, and also, I mean, Roman can control Solo. I get that, but what makes Solo believe that he can control the werewolf? Because yes, he acknowledged him this evening. However, when that werewolf smells blood, anyone's blood.
Be honest, Chad, I thought they was gonna pull the plug right now tonight. I'm gonna be honest. Tama, you acknowledge. Step up, my right hand man. You acknowledge me. Infamous. Tonga, step up. You acknowledge me. Jacob, when he came all the way around, I thought it was timing, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
See, I thought they were gonna go the opposite direction. I thought they were gonna start with Paul, which we'll end up getting, and then you would have had him ask Tonga acknowledge me, and then they cut out as they're asking Jacob. Like, TV doesn't even see that. And then Soul drops the mic, whatever. They just walk away, or the crowd didn't even see it, whatever. It's only seeing it on TV. Again, with the audio, just could have played into that maybe, but I thought they would have went about this a little differently, just to leave that, like you said, whose side is he really on?
The unknown right now. The good old unknown.
Don't be afraid of the unknowns. In times like this, you want plot twists because that makes the story that much more interesting.
Oh yeah. I just find it interesting that, like, I didn't think, like, it did not throw me off, but I wasn't expecting for Paul Heyman to be like, I didn't know this was an acknowledgement ceremony. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know he was gonna go with the Roman route, with the we in Madison Square Garden, acknowledge me route. Like,
yes, I thought that was perfect because, like I said last week or even a couple weeks ago, Solo started to use Roman's moveset from the spear to the, like we said, the shield bomb, him to now asking everyone to acknowledge him. But in the beginning of the show, they started with this is going to be Paul being anointed as the wise man. They switched it into introducing the newest member of the bloodline. So again, that part kind of threw me off. I wasn't a big fan of that. It's like, like I said, you could have just kept Jacob out of it, whatever. Like I said, you ask Paul to acknowledge him. We get what we get out of that. Just stretch out just a little bit. They beat him down. Jake comes in, gives him the little splash, and then you have Solo close the show with saying, "I present the newest member of the bloodline." Boom. Something.
I'm gonna be honest. These are the only few segments to me that still have some type of prestige, right? Like, when you say, "Oh, this person's gonna be on the Wilder Effect or whatever the Grayson Wilder Effect show," like it's like, all right. But when you talking these ceremonies and stuff, we get heavily anointments.
Well, and that's a big testament to the work that Roman and Paul and the Usos did for the last 4 years.
Hell yeah.
We now hold this thing to this standard here, so it's important that they don't fall below that standard because we will notice and we will rip the shit out of it. I mean, unfortunately, look how many folks are starting to turn from the White Six now. It's like in fear of how the Fiend ended up with Vince, and to a degree, someone with Triple H. Like, we don't want that to happen. We want this to succeed, but
if I could just give a take on that too, because I was thinking about it, because somebody had mentioned the Boogeyman, but they didn't, not pertaining to the Wyatt Six. They just mentioned that, oh yeah, I remember the Boogeyman, and then it clicked in my head. Why can't they be treated like the Boogeyman?
Well, remember the Boogeyman was a comedy act ultimately, or ended up being a comedy act.
Right, ended up. But I'm saying, I feel like if you mix in the fact that he was still attackable, right? Like, he wasn't like he was supernaturally strong. He just did weird shit. He ate fucking worms. He did scary shit. He came out, fucking banged the clock on his head, and so I feel like if they don't do the overnaturally super strong stuff, and I think they'll be all right. I think they should be all right. You just can't, like you said, they can't go the Fiend route and you know what I'm saying? And go wild with that. You said Crazy No was in here. Boy. I don't understand what you're trying to say, Ashley. What's up, though? Welcome to the stream. But yeah, I
Yes,
feel like
please elaborate on that, Ashley.
crazy. No one was in here. You said crazy. Oh, you said crazy. No one was in here. Oh well, we live on like we live on YouTube. We live on Twitch. I got 17 people watching us on Twitch right now. If you want to pull up the Twitch, Woo_Styles. I'm live on Kick and Twitch as well. You know what I'm saying? So we
Tell your
live on
friends.
places. Yeah, spread the wealth. And you know what I'm saying? We're gonna drop. If nobody's here right now, we got the post for them too. We got the post, no Malone. You feel
And
me?
most times we go a while, so we'll get comfortable, get the popcorn, get a good meal, DoorDash some good food, some good drink.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be honest. The bloodline right now more than ever, and this might be a hot take because everybody wanna, I get it, bro. Like we love them. There's nothing wrong with loving them, but to me, they needed this Jacob splash. This splash of Jacob Fatu was needed.
Because again, around Rumble Mania, we knew this was coming, just a matter of when. And we again, in hindsight, we're kind of glad they did wait a little bit, but now it's like, okay, what are we gonna do next? Yes, folks want Roman back, but again, if you bring Roman back now, that definitely pumps the brakes on Jacob and his mystique and so far. So just let him do his thing. Like I said,
And I'm
with
gonna
this
be
story
honest
through
too.
now,
It
it just got started.
It don't hurt, but like you're supposed to be developing solo, right? So now, in my opinion, you, it's something like you like to say. You only have a wonderful problem on your hands, where you got solo that you're trying to build, but now you also have Jacob that he's prime, he's ready to go. This is arguably he looking like you know what I'm saying. A year from this rivalry, we could give him a championship. A year removed from
Yo,
this gun.
would not be surprised if he ends up with the U.S. belt by Mania.
Mm.
Would not surprise me.
Because Solo, the only gold he's touched was the North American, and I feel like that. I'm gonna be honest too. Like his NXT route was different than what we see in here, and obviously it's gonna be different. But like
I
the where
mean,
was the werewolf.
Solo was definitely a fast track once the bloodline got started. So you can kind of blame the main Roman and Paul on that one, but it's kind of worked for the best because we kind of like Solo's kind of fast tracked that. All right, I'm here. I'm establishing myself to where now they're telling him, hey, no, you are the dude right now. It's up to you to get Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and now Jacob Fatu onto this level. It's on you now.
Let me
And
ask
now
you a
you got to
question.
do it without Paul Heyman.
Let me ask you a question because you probably seen more of Jacob Fatu than me, but just like when any of these superstars come back in phenomenal shape, AJ Styles, Randy Orton. Again, you said Solo was fast track, so he didn't really get that time to work. Aside from what he did in NXT, he didn't really get the time to work. He
Coming to
had
his own.
yes.
So now we're kind of seeing that now, which again, great for him. But again, like he's definitely had to rip the train wheels off and figure it out by trial by fire. But again, he's had some great tutors, so now it's all right. Training wheels are off now. Let's see what you can do.
Because I'm gonna just call it what it is, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like Solo sometimes he got this halfway in shape, halfway out of shape look.
Yeah. Well, he just had a honeymoon too, so he got married recently, so he eating good right now.
You feel me? So it's like Jacob coming in with that, like you said, we've been expecting it since the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania weekend. That's 6 months to work on your body, get in prime time shape, bro.
And again, he looks scarier now than when he did MLW. He was 40,
That's
50
why
pounds heavier.
that was my point asking you that, because to be honest, I've seen that heavier set, and when you're in phenomenal shape like this, you could control your emotion even more. Like it's crazy, right? Like you could already do these things, but when now you have the less weight on you to actually make these motions, and it's crazy. Shift the speeds.
Again, look at his work versus Mads Kruger. Look at his work versus Hammerstone. Anybody from GCW virtually. His whole library on the indies is still on YouTube. This man is special. You guys are in for a treat once you get to see him in a match. And he got a tank on him too. He can go 30, 40 minutes, no big deal. Probably while smoking a pack a day too.
Cause I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong here. But the only thing that for Solo for me is that when I used to watch him on the indies, he reminded me of a third Uso.
Yeah.
He had the hair, he had their clothes too, the arms, you know. So this Solo that I'm seeing now, then the Solo that I knew when I first found, like, when I discovered, oh shit, the Usos have a third brother. Like, it wasn't the street champion that I see now. So my whole point of saying this is that he got heavier. We see him donning the knee brace. Like, I don't know, is that cosmetic? Is there something with, like, you know, the weight he's gained affecting the knee?
Possibly, yeah.
And that's what concerns me. You know, that's all. That's why my long-winded statement. I just wanted to paint a picture for everybody, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I do notice that he, over time, he started coming out with this knee brace. And I'm like, damn, man. Then I just again see the heavy. I don't know if that, like you said, these guys been at this storyline for fucking 4 years straight.
And that family got some big boys in the family. Look at Rosie, look at Umaga, look at Rikishi, Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Them boys got some size. The Usos are no small men. The Usos are probably 260, 270 apiece. Roman's easily 3 bills. Rock's probably close to 4.
I mean, even Roman, to his defense, right? Like he always had the look, but he always had that little pouch, that little, you know what I'm saying? Like,
again, because man like to eat.
Eat good, man. What Rick Ross said? Gangsters get fat, move to Miami. You know what I'm saying? But nah, again, it's just for more the weight and the safety on the knees. Like, I just don't want to see the knees go away for him.
Yeah,
he kind of move, like he moves with some explosiveness too. Like when he does that running thump to the corner. There's a few things that he do.
He does it literally spot on like Umaga used to do it.
Yeah. But again, I feel like he put on the weight, right? As to like what you said, the other people in the family kind of like already big. It like Solo's putting on this weight. So I mean, I don't know. We gonna see.
Hopefully we're just overthinking shit.
Nah, yeah, for sure. Cause I definitely don't want to see nothing crazy happen. I'm just putting things in perspective because of how Jacob came through and he looked so much in physical shape. Like it was just crazy. And even like a little bit, you look at Tama and Tonga, like I went back and looked at them and I'm like, well, they came through a little cut too. Like I know Tama was always around the same size, but Tonga looked like he's able to buff up a little bit too.
Tongalo has leaned out drastically since he left WWE the first time. But he's not a guy that he's coming off of multiple knee injuries. So that could be why we're seeing very little of him as well. Because even when he came back in Japan after those surgeries, he was still trying to get his mojo back for the most part. That's why a lot of those botches surfaced the internet when WWE announced that they signed him. Because he can't do moonsaults, he can't do that a 619 or whatever. He can't do all that shit. It's just
ain't trying to get a C-leg back. When they check this out. When they in New Japan, quote unquote botching, right? There's not a damn problem. We love it. The second you get signed to WWE, now we want to pull up said botches, right? Like,
no. Folks are calling them out. It's just folks that I was seeing and talking with were looking at it like my boy, you just had knee surgery. Is this really the move right now?
Oh, they was trying to. I just seen a tweet. Brunson confirmed he did not injure his hand after living out his childhood dream. I ain't gonna lie.
He kept doing this quite a bit. I noticed.
He must. Yeah, I think LA Knight must have scratched him or something. Because
I thought when he grabbed the chair, it pinched his hand a little bit.
It could possibly. Because I know he threw it in the ring.
Or maybe when he jumped over, he started doing this a little bit too. So maybe he just got a little trigger happy.
I was actually surprised that the NBA teams allowed them to do that. And I say that because I just read a report that George Kittle from the 49ers said that his owners were mad that he did his WrestleMania appearance.
Well, now, did he let them know about it? Is the other question. Was he honest with what he was going to do? That's what I had to think
about. Yeah, I don't think he let them know.
Because he's done work with them before and it's never been a problem. So the fact that this recent one was a problem was probably because he didn't tell them, or they probably told him to ease up. And he's like, "I'm George Kittle. I'm gonna do this thing."
Nah, yeah, I think it's the former. He didn't let them know, and he basically said that he thought if he didn't get injured, it wouldn't be a problem.
That makes it worse because again, say if you did get injured, they could have fired you on the spot for being stupid.
Correct, because he delivered a clothesline, if I'm not mistaken, on the tackle. He could have, he could have torn some muscles, dislocated something there.
Anything,
man.
But again, I love that segment with Brunson and Halliburton. Like I said, to me, it took me back to when WCW had the Rodman and Malone stare down. I just thought it was something cool, something to try out. You don't see that necessarily too often, especially with athletes in that are essentially rivals to a degree. Because that's going to be a beef for at least the next 10, 15 years in the East.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even the NBA allowed that to play in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they playing into your NBA rivalry, like, type shit. Like,
because Monday you had Halliburton sitting in the front row, sitting next to Logan Paul. You bring in Brunson.
Reggie Miller told fucking Spike Lee. You know what I'm saying? He gave him the choke sign.
I mean, is what the hell's his name? Trey over in Atlanta. How many cities has he pissed off over the years? Everywhere he goes, he's getting booed out of the city.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That was an entertaining. I ain't gonna lie. We need. You see, like, I'm not gonna be mad if you have celebrities on. If it's gonna be entertaining and fun like this, like,
but more importantly, in situations like this, we're again because this particular beef is very real to the city. You can't do it just anybody. It's got to be the right people in the right scenario. Because again, remember, you had Ryan Clark there at his very first WWE event. If he interfered with Logan Paul, they would have booed his ass out of the city. So again, this one worked perfectly as needed to. And I said, if I'm not opposed to them doing this moving forward, but again, it's got to be the right people. If it's preferred they have a history like again the Halliburton and Brunson, much like back in the day with Rodman and Malone, they had that history.
Nah, I think this is the perfect scenario right here. Big market in New York. They got the right people, the two stars of the team. They didn't just get Enes Kanter, the fucking, you know what I mean? The starting center that Mitchell Robinson type, you know what I'm saying?
You know you a star in New York City when you have everyone in Madison Square Garden chanting your name for about 3 to 5 minutes. Out of the blue.
For Jalen Brunson, that must have been a special moment, man.
And then him jumping that barricade, them chanting MVP. It's still real to me, damn it.
Again, doing what you love, having fun.
And again, the match that it worked perfectly too, because again, you have Logan Paul the showman, Ellen at the showman. It fit just fine.
Like, no lie, we could even like that's even fun to in the future. Like, we might want to see a Jalen Brunson versus and somehow in each other. I mean, like, we might want to see that somehow. We didn't know we want to see Halliburton and Brunson in the ring in somebody's corner. Like, we didn't know that. That's fire.
And now Halliburton has his own WWE merch.
Where? Oh yeah, that's the 317.
That's his shirt.
What does the 317 stand for?
Fuck if I know.
Let's see. That's the time in the afternoon they fucking called him and told him they were gonna be on Raw. Hey, you ready? Let's go.
I'm checking Data Shop to see if that Brunson got his own shirt. Because if not, I'm feeling step away.
Yeah, and they were showing me these Manchester shirts, so I just got off the page. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. So yesterday they announced they're doing a collab with Manchester City.
Yeah, it was too many shirts. They had some 80s. They had an Austin shirt, like kind of what you're saying at 317, but they had like 8350. It was like weird. I'm like, wow, they going crazy.
Jalen Brunson has his own WWE shirt. It was that shirt he was wearing today.
Oh yeah, that's mean. That's mean. I'm not gonna lie. That looked like some shirt that they'll put in NBA 2K too. Like one of those little shirts that you could buy in the
those add a whole other emo just like this.
Yeah, that's fire. Oof.
I know what you're gonna buy now.
Is it on pre-order? Is it pre-order?
No, it's on sale right now.
Yeah,
or it's on the shop right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that shit. They lit right now with that one.
Let's see what they got. Any other new ones?
I'm gonna be honest. You know what I'm noticing about this show? Did any guys fight on this show, bro?
You had the men's triple threat match.
The LA Knight. That's it, right?
You had that. I don't think that might have been it.
Yeah, like I'm looking at my notes right here, and that's crazy. Like,
and again, another show full of great women's matches.
And even aside from that, the storytelling it was there, so it flowed. Like you said, it opened with the like we all know, bro. This is what we came here for. Madison Square Garden, Bloodline. Y'all advertising it all week. Jacob FATU. Y'all gave us what we wanted when the show started. Y'all gave us the Bloodline. Y'all gave us Cody Rhodes for the fans that love Cody. Y'all love Randy Orton. Y'all got, you know what I'm saying? You got what you want in the opening segment. The next match or the next segment, Tiffany Stratton versus Candice LeRae versus Jade, qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. Shout out to Snakes. I think it was like, a lot of people could see Tiffany in that position. I thought, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be transparent. Once I seen Bianca lose last week, I didn't think Jade was winning.
I think with Jade and Bianca specifically, they're more invested into when they're going to split up, and like we've been saying, how we're going to get there. That's all they care about at this point. Yeah, they had them with the belt. It was fun. It was cute. We want to see them beef.
I think they got them in like
we want to see where Jade stands with the cream of the crop of the division.
They got them in this weird parallel universe where, like, I don't know why they got to do the same shit, bro. Like, I mean, I just feel like they're like randomly, okay, we put them together. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to see the females. You know what I'm saying? We want to see the young. You know what I'm saying? Let's call it what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? The culture wanted to see the African American ladies tag team. We had the Naomi part of that mix. So we got the trio when they first started. Remember, we had Naomi, we had Bianca, and we had Jade. I'm all for
matching gear, mind you.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Where y'all lost me at Because once you take the titles off them, if y'all have them beef right away, let them fucking do their own things. Stop with the parallel universe. Stop. Even when they had the belt, why was they both in the Queen of the Ring matches, losing to the same opponent? Nia Jax beat both of them, right? In different ways. Like Jade got disqualified.
Yeah.
So it's like, so if they're gonna lose to somebody, they both gotta lose to somebody. Or if they're gonna lose this, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, oh, Bianca just lost her match last week, so Jade is gonna lose this match this week. Like, we can't keep them separate. Like, and I think you could keep Bianca separate. Like, she's already established. Jade is the one that I can see y'all not putting her in the Money in the Bank match. I could see y'all not putting her far in the Queen of the Ring tournament yet. You know what I mean?
It would have been perfectly fine if they gave her the Braun Breaker treatment. Just let her squash a couple random chicks, build her up as this killer, and let everything go from there.
I think the problem is us as fans wanted her to learn. WWE wanted her to learn. But now, again,
WWE also saw dollar signs.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like you said, the word fast track. They know damn well she wasn't in no position to be in the Royal Rumble. Now she did phenomenal, but
the Rumble's one thing because again, that's what introduced her, whatever. But no one believes she's gonna win. Yeah, that was fine. But again,
like you let Maven tell. Maven's good at selling this, right? One thing could go wrong, and it's all over. And he might have some crack. You missed a spot in the Rumble, fuck his shit up. So I mean, maybe that's out so late.
Again, we're talking two different scenarios now. Again, so before we go back to this, let's address this bullshit you just started right now. We're talking if Maven misses that dropkick, yes, he's winner of a game show. His ass is done. Never seen her from again. If Jade, what could have she done wrong in the Rumble?
Not get eliminated by Liv.
Again, you get eliminated by a former champion.
Like,
where's
let's
the
say
issue there?
No. If like she by accidentally didn't get eliminated and like she causes Liv this whatever, something just goes wrong and Liv falls out instead of her. Now they got to go to like this weird Bailey Jade finish that was never to be. That's the only thing that could have went wrong. But again, it would have not been so much on Jade, in my opinion, because then y'all putting her in a situation like that's her first match. Yeah, that's her match. Her first match in the WWE, the Rumble.
Yeah.
So like, and then again, they put her in a lot of. I don't want to say, but again, maybe you're right. That Braun Strowman, Braun Breaker treatment of, we need you in singles matches, dominate, and then we're gonna mix you in with everybody else.
Have her fuck some shit up for a minute, and then everything will be all good in the hood.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like if you learn in boxing, right? You want to learn what the basics, the jab, the 1, the 2. If somebody starts throwing you the 3, 4, 5, you don't even know what's the 3, the hook, the you know what I'm saying? The 4. You're gonna be like, I think that's what they doing to her a little bit. They throwing the whole playbook at her, which that's good for her to see. I think she looked better tonight, but we still, again, she's too dominant to like look like these girls even got a chance with her, bro.
And that's also kind of her fault for kind of being not really or protective of her own character, because she should again, even though she's fairly green character, she should have the okay to say, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
No,
or
yeah,
that doesn't, or like Yo Goldberg stuff. That doesn't make sense for me. It's okay to get a little greedy sometimes.
Yeah, because it's like in AEW, she, not that I remember seeing, she wasn't the like, oh, I'm gonna run and do a stinger splash to you because I'm a good guy and I want the pop. She was just dominating joints out there.
Well, yeah, and like I said, she had the Goldberg treatment for most of the time. There, just get in, get out, go home.
Mm-hmm.
It's all it needs to be.
I mean, again, when you built like her, sometimes it shouldn't be no other way. Like, I was absolutely fucking pissed when Becky Lynch came and gave Bianca Belair, the rock bottom, the
SummerSlam.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
almost
that was a little strange.
I almost stopped, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I almost stopped investing into the women's division at that point because I was like, this is some
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah, that was definitely a black eye for them that day, and to open the show that way.
30 seconds, bro. 30 seconds. You almost killed any credibility that Bianca Belair had as a serious
Yep.
competitor.
And now she's crawled her way back up there, but again, we almost lost her there.
Bro, I was
But
like, no fucking way, bro. Even when you look at the last time Becky won the belt and that, what was it, that battle royal shit?
yeah,
It felt forced, bro. I'm like, I think we had chatted about that too, if I'm not mistaken. You said it. I think a few of us knew, like, oh yeah, Becky's winning that, bro. Once they announced she's in the match.
I mean, I get it, folks. That was the one where everyone wanted to live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was, I believe, if that was fresh off of her attack. Yep. So everybody wanted to live, and then they fucking put it on Becky. But it makes sense now in hindsight because Becky's a strong, so you make Liv look strong, getting it off her, right? I guess. But
also in their case, they thought that would have bought them some time and got Becky to resign.
Backfire, so patent stats.
And again, that comes down to like you got to think about it, like especially from a business standpoint. Putting a belt on somebody isn't going to want to make them stay necessarily. If the money ain't talking, they don't want to hear it.
It's that and the timing of it, right?
Look at WCW when Medusa goes over. She takes the WWF Women's Championship, throws in the garbage can. Yeah, you put the belt on her, but guess what? She don't work for you no more.
Nah, so, it's different scenarios, bro. You're absolutely right. I think too, it's also timing, right? Like it's like a job, right? If you tired somewhere in your job and you've been fighting all this time for this one thing, and you finally tell them, like, I'm not gonna lie, bro, I'm done, I'm gonna leave. And then they start changing. Oh no, we'll give you what you want. It's too late, bro.
Money in the Bank 2011, when CM Punk beats John Cena, blows Vince McMahon that kiss goodbye. That following day, CM Punk could have popped up on TNA, Ring of Honor Television, New Japan with that title and says, "This is garbage to me." Like they say, money talks, bullshit walks.
Of course, it's a business. That's why, like, unfortunately for me, I look at two things when I'm like, if you're asking me my opinion as a fan, I'd rather give you my opinion as a fan because my opinion as business it's the more boring side. Like I feel like the business side is the more predictable. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you see the trajectory of things when like for example, Tiffany Stratton, we've been seeing that she's been on the up. People been asking for her. She's been attaching herself to Nia Jax after winning that Queen of the Ring. One could argue maybe Chelsea Green, nobody's seen, but again, that's an argument. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that kind of brings up my point as to what threw me off from this match. I hated that everyone's partners got involved in the match in some way, shape, or form. Because this is with any 6 of the women. Does anyone even care about a tag team match with any of them? No. There's no need to have a tag match for the sake of having a tag match.
You saw that was my first concern. I smelt that shit from a block away.
And you down the street, so I know you smelt it.
I smelt that bad, bitch. Oh,
no. Window. God damn it. Here it comes.
Here it comes, man. I'm like, oh, man.
Sure enough, we get Nia Jax. We get Bianca. And to close out the match, we get Indy Hartwell.
Who has a match herself later on in the evening.
Like, it did nothing for nobody. If anything, it makes Bianca and Jay that much more like a waste of the tag team.
Just wasting their time. Like, you over here chasing after Indy Hartwell. Like, the second she runs away, like, logically, why you don't stay and make sure that Nia Jax doesn't get involved now? Like, all right, let Indy run away. Fuck it.
Keep all three out of it. Up until Nia and them came in, I was actually glad with how the match was going. I thought it was a great match until they all came in.
The only thing that made me happy was that I saw my little pick, Candice LeRae. When I saw Indy Hartwell, I was like, oh, she might win. But then I was like, nah, it ain't gonna happen.
But,
it was too,
again, just
yeah.
Them three by itself, no bullshit aside, that was a great match. Jade countering that double suplex very impressively was great. I would love to see Tiffany Stratton and Jade one-on-one down the road because that looks like money.
So I'm saying I thought Jade looked better in the ring today. You know what I'm saying? It's still the points where, like, I felt personally she's too dominant to just, oh, I'm gonna run, do a stinger splash and miss and fall to the outside. Like, that's shit that
if she's gonna stinger splash cancel the race, she can't jump. She's gonna miss her completely.
Hit the turnbuckle or rip, like pink. Right. Even that moment, I get it too. It was kind of weird. Like, this is where she's learning, right? She's on the outside. Bianca and Nia Jax are having a moment, and Jade is kind of taking long, right? And the reason she's taking long because she's waiting for Indy to come throw her into the fucking outside turnbuckle. Like, that just took a little. Again, I'm not trying to nitpick, but I'm just pointing out what happened on the show. I thought she was gonna push Nia Jax into Bianca. That would have been perfect.
I thought Jay was gonna try to take Nia out, miss, and like I said, spear Bianca. I was like, okay, we're getting it. Good, finally, perfect. I'm good with this. Nope.
Like, I like that concept. What you saying? I thought she was gonna attack because remember, Nia Jax had her back face, so I thought she would have hit Nia Jax, forcing Nia Jax to hit Bianca,
or even if Jay stopped at the last second, where you tease it, that's all you needed.
And then Bianca, like
what you doing? And then they start arguing, whatever. Nia takes him out. You get everything else, but again, we know the separator is at the top of the shelf. They're not even like nudging it towards. They're just like, yeah, it's there. Just look at it.
Again, I think the thing that bothers me is that why do we need a separation when I feel like you can just have a simple situation where they're meeting up, and that's like, I mean, I guess they're trying to build this emotional thing between them. I get it, right? Like, you want to have an emotional.
To them, they are two alpha women. Once they split, ain't no coming back.
It shouldn't be. It's too much. There's too much nice play going on right now. Like, it's too much. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you gotta have them get a little ratchet then.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You have them get a little ratchet again. But that moment on, it's I'm gonna one up you, you're gonna one up me, but it's on site whenever. Keep it like that.
Realistically, I'm thinking like this too. If there was no tag team championships for the women's, do we even see them in a tag team? Like, is there Lance? No.
We may see him just bump shoulders across the hall once in a while. That's about it to keep teasing that. But again, that'd been just fine. They don't speak words to each other. They just look at each other, walk away, and that's all you need.
I mean, and I'm gonna be real. This is just me being real. The Charlotte versus Jade attraction to me is more because of what you just said. That one time they looked at each other in SmackDown. I'm seeing too much of Jade and Bianca not doing not no bad vibes. Like, so when there is a bad vibe, finally, it's gonna feel forced.
When Jaden and Charlotte locked eyes, it wasn't on disrespect. It's one of those, I'm familiar with your work, but just so you know, excuse my French, I'm that bitch right here.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's on top, not nobody else. Me.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Rhea on Raw. When those two lock eyes, it's like, this is my shit. You second to me.
Correct. And I don't get that vibe from and like what's going on with Bianca and Jade right now. Maybe we get there, but we gonna have to see Bianca turn up another notch too? Because does Bianca have it in her, or we
That's
gonna leave
my next question. We saw
Yeah.
signs of it in NXT, and then she kind of abandoned it. Is that level of fight even still in her, or like you said, she too nice now?
I think she's too nice, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Like she's like a female John Cena, with all due respect. Like she's for the kids. She go
Too
out
goody
there.
goody.
Yeah, bro. She's the EST, bro. She's the, you know what I'm saying? She's the hustle, loyalty, respect. She's the EST. The strongest, the fastest, the meanest, the toughest.
You might be right.
She go out there, she spends her hair, she sells the merch, she's for the kids. And there's nothing wrong with that, bro. But is she ready to turn up that intensity now? And like you saying, Charlotte feels she's that bitch. She go out there and wear that shit.
And Jade like that too. And AEW, she was saying, "I'm that bitch."
Right. I haven't seen that from Bianca. I see more of like I'm a role model. Like you see what Bailey says she is, the role model.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Bianca give me. Again, nothing wrong. I'm not saying it, chat, but this is my observation. I'm getting role model vibes from Bianca.
Which is fine. But again, she makes a great heel of her own right, but someone got to turn on somebody. And again, it's looked like it's going to be Jade, which I'm not mad at. But let's be honest, we wanted to see her for the one-on-one matches, not her to be in a tag team that had promise, but you killed that quicker than you made it.
And they've been shown, I don't want to say they've been showing bad chemistry, but as a traditional tag team, they've been not having each other's back the right way.
Well, and that can be because they're both still new to the game. No one really knows how to lead per se. Not to say they can't be a leader. It's just, again, someone's got to run point in a tag team.
And it's crazy because now you got we at the point where WWE is not dismissing what you did in the former company, so they're acknowledging that Jade is like a world champion, right? So you can't paint this picture like, oh, well, I'm a world champion. You've never been a world champion. Like you could try to paint that picture like, well, I've been the champion here.
But again, you could have Bianca double down saying you were a one-time champion. I've won multiple champions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could go that route. I think ultimately I would like to see them be as competitors. Like the Queen of the Ring tournament was the perfect little opportunity. It was just too soon, though.
What this needs to be, in all honesty, because Bianca's so established in WWE and because Jade is to a degree established in AEW, you need something on the lines of what Triple H and Scott Steiner did during their big feud, to where, yeah, Bianca didn't show intimidation in Jade, but she knew she was a threat. Or you see them switch it vice versa into where Jade looks at it that way, but Jade will still tell Bianca, I can still snap your neck whenever I feel like it. What are you going to do about it? That would be much more entertaining than whatever the hell they're doing right now.
Yeah, because I feel like in a way they kind of could have did a reverse what they did with the Bar. Remember the Bar? They went 7 series, then they started the tag team. But I think like when I say reverse, all right, so you started off the tag team with Jade and Bianca, and now they got the tag team belts, but now they can have this competitive series while like they can try to outdo each other while becoming championships. That eventually leads them to losing their belts.
MVP and Matt Hardy and SmackDown back in the day.
Kind of like yeah. Mm-hmm. We seen it with Exium and Nathan Frazier right now with the little story they telling. Oh, I want to go for the cup. Oh, I want to put myself in the. You know what I'm saying?
We also saw with Batista and Mysterio back in the day too. It's like, to a degree, we could have had this with Santana Ortiz and AW, but yeah,
Man.
But I wouldn't wait too long on that particular story, or else you run the risk of that losing steam, and then it'll turn into, all right, when does Bianca job out to Jade? Which is what we don't want to see.
Right. This is why I say I want to see a competitive match, not so much where, oh, you know that Bianca gonna kind of lose because she's playing a heel character where she's kind of just like, you know what I mean? Like she not thinking straight, basically.
Yeah.
And she's not thinking like a winning champion. She's just thinking like a fucking a dirt bag. You know what I mean? And that's not her. So it's not gonna be helpful for her. I don't want to see that. I want to see both competitors in a right state of mind, ready to take each other on for whether it's a championship, a spot for a championship. You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't be mad at least Jade plays a little dirty with it.
And that's who I would expect. I would expect, honestly, Jade to beat the shit out of Bianca. And if you want to keep Bianca still how she is, as is right now, then you got to kind of make her look like she's fighting an uphill battle, even though we know she's not. But Jade is a little bit bigger than her, right? So we could play that story.
We most certainly can.
They found something different to do. Again, though, I give them this for this match that we're still on, the Tiffany, Candice, and Jade. They gave us something different in this triple threat match. Even though you weren't a fan of it, they gave you the
I love the match as a whole. It's just
no, I mean the inclusion.
When everyone came out, that's the part that I hate. But the match itself, I fucking love the match.
Because that's what I felt that they did different that I've seen. I could be wrong, but like you said, each competitor had a partner that came to interfere in the match. I don't recall seeing that in these little.
Usually someone's left hanging dry.
Yeah, usually somebody's left hanging dry. Everybody has somebody today, so I don't know. Just felt like I should mention that. But Tiffany wins. Shout out to Snake. She had that one. You had called that one too, right? You said you had Tiffany winning that one too.
I had her or Jade. I wouldn't have been mad at Jade won it. My thought was Candice was going to take the pin regardless.
Yeah, I thought Candice would have been like. I thought this would have been like if y'all want to have Chelsea Green win this shit. Then I thought like, okay, maybe you put like somebody like Candice LeRae in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But they chose to go with Tiffany, so I feel like that's what we might be getting, bro. Like I kind of said this, but didn't say it like this. I didn't know there was no qualifying matches. Remember, I said, "Oh, what if we have a situation where Tiffany get the Money in the Bank, and this one is at SummerSlam. She already got her match for SummerSlam, like." And then we was all like, oh shit, like they're about to really push that. And it's looking like tonight, yeah, they're gonna continue like this little Tiffany and Nia Jax shit got legs. I'm not gonna lie. Got a little legs.
What I'm more enjoying is, unlike the men's, this women's Money in the Bank layout so far is extremely unpredictable because they got some names that, again, I can see any of the 6 winning this match so far. Or any of the selection names mentioned. I can see any of them winning.
Io won last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she could win again.
Io and Naomi have won before. Oh no. Did Naomi or who else is in it? The
only reason I say now I gotta retract my statement about Io because I had to remember the landscape of Raw though.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna be right back. But go ahead.
Do your thing. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the people. So, like, the reason I say that, chat, is because the landscape of Raw, you got Lee. I'm about to mix their names. I'm about to call her Leah and then Riv. You got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan out there. arguably that's maybe all you got because they've been adding Zelina into the mix. Now I'm not saying Zelina's not deserving, but I think it's safe. Like we know she's not getting the belt, right? Like you know what I'm saying? Like they put her in them looks right there. We got Lyra Valkyria. Know what I'm saying Lyra Valkyria. Like let me not forget about her, but you got Kiana, but the Kiana James, like you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I think Io Sky could possibly win. Tiffany Stratton is looking like the more. I'm looking at her like a female opportunist, right? She just weaseled her friendship. She weaseled her way into a friendship with Nia Jax, y'all. She sat there. She ain't have no plans on being friends with Nia Jax. She saw that Nia Jax won the Queen of the Ring, and she said, "This is my end right here. This is my way to be cool with Nia Jax." And she told her, "You're the Queen of the Ring. I'm the Princess of the Ring." Whatever that meant, it sounded good though, right? Now, once she said that, Nia Jax is like, And then you see the following week, Meechin talking to Tiffany Stratton, trying to run down on Tiffany Stratton, and Nia Jax come through like, bow, nah, not at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we've been seeing this little dynamic where Nia Jax is taking a liking for her, but I ultimately think that Tiffany is weaseling. She's like an ultimate opportunity. She's like almost like the rated R superstar edge. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's making the calculated decisions right now to put herself to snatch that championship right away from Nia Jax.
Which championship is Nia challenging for? Bailey or
Bailey?
Bailey, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if she snatches it from the winner or from Liv, basically?
That would be interesting. That would be our first jump of the year, I think.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but still, the winner does have their choice of champion. That means either brand. Just putting it in the universe, because like you touched on earlier, aside from Liv and Rhea, Raw needs to start right now.
Unless they preconditioning us for new things. Then other than that, we shall still be living by the same rules.
Also, yeah, I can see a world where Tiffany goes to Raw because SmackDown, they're just overloaded right now. If you really want to break it down, because again, yeah, you have Becky out for a minute, you have Rhea out, Rhea's come back soon. You also have Charlotte too. Charlotte's like to be on SmackDown with Andrade.
Right.
So it wouldn't hurt to have Tiffany go over to Raw, whatever, and still do her normal spiel. It'd be interesting. It'd be different, but we'll see.
Right, because the competitors on Raw, I was just breaking down. I don't know if you got the list, but I was getting into the Lyra Valkyrias, the Kiana James, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark. You know what I'm saying?
They don't have a star yet.
Right. That's why, again, to your point, really the bank match for the women's could be very unpredictable, and as to where you could really see Tiffany Stratton. I think the money's with Tiffany Stratton. I think if you want to go a different direction with the championship, then you'll put it on one of the ladies from Raw, or have Tiffany Stratton go to Raw. But I think the money is having her with the briefcase, and then the payout is her turning on Nia Jax.
I'm saying Tiffany right now only because let's see who that sixth woman is beforehand. But right now, yeah, the money's definitely on Tiffany.
Yep.
Now on the men's side, it's obvious that it's leaning towards Jey Uso. But then again, we'll see who the last person for Raw is. But it's probably gonna be Drew. But still, I got my money on.
I'm glad you said that. I know we spoke about the Brunson, so I won't stay too much on this, but unless you want to. But LA Knight wins the triple threat qualifying match with Santos Escobar and Logan Paul. I personally thought Santos was gonna win. Part of me felt like No, because the bigger, again, if we talk a bigger money, bigger draw, bigger business, it's obviously LA Knight or Logan Paul. And Logan Paul could still be involved in the match without even being in the match. Like that's just his
Yeah, and
character. That's just his
I mean, I
stilo.
mean, we were gonna have enough shenanigans in that match alone. Logan's inclusion might be a bit
That's why,
overkill, in my
bro.
opinion.
You don't remember me asking you? I said, I'm like, yo, I think this is gonna be the biggest Money in the Bank match we see, bro. In terms of possible Wyatt Six stuff happening at that match. Logan Paul escapades.
Now we were dead wrong on who else would be involved in the match, but again, it's again, I'm looking forward more to the women's and the men's for the first time ever.
I mean, I feel like I'm gonna be transparent. Jay Uso, he deserved everything he got. His singles run, all of that. Why now? Why now matters more than before?
I don't think it's so much the why now. It's and this goes my on what I said a few months back. Aside from the yeet, what does he have?
Bro, we wasn't even. I'm gonna be honest again, chat. Y'all unwelcome your thoughts. Be mad at me if y'all want. Y'all wasn't even happy with the WrestleMania match, bro. They wasn't even happy with it themselves. Dumb. If y'all was happy with it, go ahead, be. They weren't happy with it. The best thing we even joked. Some of us were saying the best thing that they did that weekend was the spear off the stage. Respectfully,
Yep. But aside
because y'all
from
playing game. They playing games with. I'm sorry to cut your wisdom. When you're playing games with us, when you're telling us that, okay, this is main event Jay. That man ain't walk around like with no singles. Like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't doing like you in the main event, but you got that losing record in the when it matters though. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my only thing. So for me,
yeah,
I kind of went, and then they made it weird too. I'm gonna be honest. Him getting one more championship over his brother was kind of weird. Cause now it's like you could put them back together. He's always gonna have one more championship over his brother in terms of tag team.
yeah, that definitely did more harm than good as far as their family legacy.
Yeah, like I didn't. Then we seen what like he teamed with Cody Rhodes and won the champ. We seen what that can do. You know what I mean? Like they, like you said, they just yeeting around until we yeet again.
And it's like I said, aside from the yeet, what is Jey Uso?
See, this is when you got to really call people's or like pull people card and pull people's real like fandom and shit. Because I'm gonna be real, there was like people that I could say wasn't fucking with they like. I used to think personally for me, I used to think the Usos was gearing towards the best tag team of all time. Like that run that they had on SmackDown before the Bloodline, when they were doing like that big battle gimmick, get to the back of the line day one ish, they were like nearing all time. Or they might like to me. I was like, damn, bro, like damn, they 10-time tag team championships. Like, what other team was doing that, bro? What other
Well,
team like Legion of Doom, bro? All fairness to them, they take their face paint off and take away the shoulder pads. Who the fuck were Animal and Hawk? You took the face paint off the Usos, they transcended. They became like, you know what I mean? Like
okay, well,
gritty.
I see you when I raise you. Look at New Day. For the last 10 plus years, New Day and Usos, that was the 1 and 2 tag teams of all WWE. New Day, they started out heels. Usos started as baby faces. They were all right, and then they start having their magic together. New Day then turns babyface, and they ultimately break Demolish's record for the longest reigning tag team championships. The Usos go full heel, go with the Bloodline. They break the New Day's record for longest reigning tag team champions.
And it had to be that way because I'm be honest, I like the New Day, but there's 3 of them, bro. So it's like they always gonna have the advantage in my book. Tell me what you want. There's fucking at any given time. You're telling me when it's a tough matchup, Big E could come in and be the like defender of the belt, or I could fight. You know what I'm saying? And then in bullshit matchups, you got Kofi and Xavier defending.
On the contrary, I'll argue that for most of the matches, it was always Big E and Kofi. Woods was to a degree the valet for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely was he involved in tag team matches with them. Very rarely. So again, nothing against Woods, but it's always been E and Kofi. That's who won all their tag team championships.
I could see that. Like, cause if you telling me the tag, like even right now, the tag team of Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, that shit don't sell me. That shit is like you said, they don't even got a good special with each other. Like Big E had whatever the name of their finisher was.
They're still doing the 11th hour, but Woods is doing the jump and Kofi's doing the lifting. It don't look right with them.
Look, I don't even notice that they're doing it. That's how like it's
They're
not
never on TV
impactful.
and they never win.
Right. They sent them to NXT to capture the tag team belts.
Now, here's my theory as to why the Good Brothers work down in NXT, but New Day doesn't. And that's because the New Days, for lack of a better term, they're so accustomed to a Vince style match, the theatric, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
NXT is always catered to, and not so much now anymore, but even the time there was still kind of traces of it there, of the black and gold indie style of NXT. And that was very somewhat anti-Vince style per se. Now, granted, you have Axiom now. You also have Wendy Chu doing her stuff. You had the goofy stuff there, but when you have teams of the pedigree of the Revival, DIY, American Alpha, Authors of Pain, all the even Pretty Deadly, as goofy as they were treated as a serious tag team there. I think the antics that New Day was doing had already passed them to a degree, which is why I'm still on board for Woods turning on Kofi.
Yeah, something needs to happen there because, again, none of these teams was holding the candle to what I felt like the Usos were doing. And I felt like watching longevity, like, there's not too many tag teams that we could say we watched them for 10 years straight doing what they've been doing.
Well, I said if you're a hardcore fan, you can argue the Briscoe brothers, but again,
or even the Rock and Rollers or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Them the old cats, but the Briscoes, I'm gonna give you that. But I'm talking about like fucking on that main stage. We were given this and we made this work. Then we made this work, and then we just took shit to a whole nother. Like you don't even see that shit, bro. So I don't know, man. Just it rubbed me wrong that they gave him that extra championship.
And then even with the Briscoes, they broke up a couple times throughout their tenure together, and they kind of brought back. But that's kind of what freshened things up. Sometimes you got to grow apart before you can continue to grow together.
And I'm gonna be honest, I would have gave the Dudley Boys that title, but their career was kind of weird to me. I'm gonna be honest, where like y'all was here, y'all was in here.
they're one of those acts, much like a Kurt Angle to a degree, to where yes, they were famous in WWE, but they were light years more famous outside of WWE, whether it be ECW, TNA, New Japan, Mexico, Ring of Honor. Everywhere else in the world, the Dudleys thrived and prospered, whereas in WWE, they were still a great tag team. It's just that was it.
Get the tables.
Yeah, they were just the Dudleys from ECW.
No, I ain't gonna lie. In the beginning, they were very presented like stupid. Like I'm sorry for lack of a better word, but they were presenting them, smacking them in the back of the head so Bubba could get the words right, or you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I don't remember the story, but Bully has said something behind that, and like fucking drop that shit. Like that's not what we doing here. Like you know what I'm saying. Moved
Yeah,
on.
so in the early ECW days, it came down to Daddy being a hoe, so he had children from all walks of life, and they kind of told Paul that we're kind of over that. We ain't doing that trailer park trash bullshit. We're gonna show you what we can really do. And then they showed that all over the world. Now when they go to WWE, Vince gets bored of tag teams like he gets bored of everything else. But it's especially with WWE, I think after the Hardys and Edge of Christian stuff, that was the plateau. So it's like you're kind of not really, especially back then, you're not really matching that, especially with the tag team division over there. Because I don't think you could have matched that.
That was deep crop right there. And I'll talk about that TLC. Like if that's what you're referring to, that TLC, Edge, Christian, Hardy Boys. That's what we get in our generation with the New Day, with the Usos.
So then let me ask you this: what the Dudleys had with the Hardys, Edge of Christian, that was gold. Could they have had equal success with the New Age Outlaws?
I believe so. And the reason I say is because the Outlaws.
Now, this was their debut match in WWE, but had this been an actual story, could their style of work or that style of play have worked with the APA, Farouk and Bradshaw?
Maybe. I think so.
Could that style have worked with the Brothers of Destruction, the Rock and Sock Connection, Two-Man Power Trip?
And you speaking from the Dudley standpoint or the others?
From the Dudley standpoint, like could they have made that work at that point in time in their careers?
Yes, but now at that point we talk about obviously Dudleys ain't gonna be the one. In my opinion, they shouldn't be going over the Brothers of Destruction
because that was the tag team roster back then when they was coming in.
Yep.
Now fast forward to now, you have Usos, you have New Day, you kind of have AOP, you kind of have DIY, but there's not a lot of like real tag teams anymore, especially in WWE.
Yeah, that's my problem. And even some of the tag teams I see now, like I was telling you the other day, the Young Bucks, they great, but like I don't look at them like how I look at the Usos, the Road Warriors. Like they're a great tag team, but they just right underneath that bracket.
Yeah, like I said, as far as Ring of Honor, New Japan stuff, you had Briscoes had their beef with the Young Bucks, but Briscoes were always the premier team. The Young Bucks were predominantly, essentially, a cruiserweight tag team, junior heavyweights, if you will. So even back then, there wasn't a lot of junior heavyweight tag teams, or not a lot of memorable ones. So that's why they were looked at as this great tag team. There's no other fucking junior tag team. They were all pairing of singles guys. There were no tag teams. You had the Briscoes
teams.
You had the Briscoes. You had War Machine, which is now the Viking Raiders. You had the Guerrillas of Destiny. You also had Killer Elite Squad, which was Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr. But all the tag teams were heavyweight guys. None of them were juniors. So when they made the jump to heavyweight, no one took them seriously because it's like,
Do you look at a
why?
faction as a tag team, or you really just like tag team? Just do a 1-2 people in the. You know what I mean, in the
I'm
team.
talking a
That's the
tag team,
team.
a 1-2 punch.
Mm,
Because
yeah.
a faction isn't a tag team. A faction is just a faction.
Put whoever in the
Like,
match.
like, 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 I don't consider Evolution a tag team. I don't consider the Horsemen a tag team. The tag team within the Horsemen was the Brainbusters.
Fucking Batista and Ric Flair held the belt though.
Yeah, but that's not a tag team. They just had the tag team
They
championships.
were just
I I
they were just soldiers asses.
I consider DX a faction, not so much a tag team.
Mm, that's interesting. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Trick Mello. They not to me a tag team.
That was just two singles guys.
Yeah.
One of your personal favorites, the Wolf Dogs. I consider that just two singles guys.
Yep. Baron Corbin.
Imperium, that's a faction. That's not a tag team. The Family, that's a faction.
The Creed brothers.
That you could get it with a tag team if you present it properly. But
They
again,
give me Steiner brother vibes a little bit, along with the Alpha Academy. They give me a blend of like
I get
a
Haas
few
and
of them.
Benjamin more than anything else. I mean,
Yeah, world's greatest tag team.
the reason why I don't get Steiner Brother vibes with them is because the charisma is only from Brutus, not from Julius.
Mm.
Yeah, Julius, he just loud. That's about it. There's no actual charisma or moxie from him. It's all from Brutus.
He just do that like he be having his little Jason Jordan moment. He do the kip ups
Yeah.
like 5 times and shit. Like
Whereas, yeah, Brutus Creed, you can see in his face, much like how Otis kind of took control over heavy machinery, much how like
what,
Enzo took point from his tag team with Big Cass. Like certain guys just have that in them, that charisma, that level of charisma. That it's I don't mean to put it this way, but it's like the Shawn Michaels Martin Jannetty scale. Like one person's over here, one person's over here.
speaking of the tag teams, we got um what's this guy's name? Grayson Waller beating up Champa and Gargano backstage and shit.
Now
I
I
feel
did
I feel
notice
like this.
that
Mhm.
I did notice that Ciampa's wearing DIY gear again.
Yeah, bro. Like I don't think they're gonna go in the direction that we thinking with that shit, bro. I think they're gonna keep DIY the same. They're gonna stay as a tag team, just floating around. And then these two dickheads, they gonna be fucking like they gonna be dead ass. These two dickheads gonna have the belt, just fucking kind of like all Truth and Miz just had the belts doing nothing, and
Well,
it's gonna get me tight.
I definitely have the Grayson Waller effect retaining next week, and hopefully they pull the trigger and separate Ciampa from Gargano and release the shackles from him. Because that man, much like Montez Ford and the Street Profits that we'll get to here in a little bit, Ciampa can offer so much more as a singles guy than as just Gargano's enforcer.
Cause it's crazy. This is a weird tag team as where like you got two hills, Theory and Waller, right? And they fucking like dirty. Like they'll do anything to win.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They'll sit there and do anything to win. So it's to me like it's just a tough situation for them. Why you got the belts on them? Like you know what I mean? Because now what I personally see is they could do anything to you got two singles competitors. They strong. Theory was a fucking U.S. champion. Waller was doing just fine for himself in NXT. Some of these tag teams can't even find their footing on the fucking main roster. Like you said, they're not actual. So you got two strong singles competitors with the belts. Like I don't think that do anything for the division right now over there on SmackDown. They need to like get that up to the
I heard
bloodline
the
or
boys outside there for you.
yeah, whoop. Man, listen, we good over here. Somebody's out there disturbing the peace, per usual. Nothing new. You
You
know what
see
I'm
that
saying?
video? This is one video, and I'm pretty sure this might be the New York cat. There's one dude's chasing. There's one dude down the block with a flamethrower because he got caught sleeping with his girl.
Nah, I didn't even see that. That's crazy.
I can
That's
see
wild.
I can see you New York cats doing some shit like that.
Man, that's wild. Shit, I ain't gonna lie. He do that shit. That man ain't coming home. He getting booked for time skis. That's crazy.
I gotta find that video. Said that shit was funny as fuck.
Nah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you getting booked in any state, but I feel like you sneeze at somebody wrong in New York, they might arrest you for the weekend. Like, shit, crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? For real. Like, the worst shit I went through, I remember spending 3 days. This is before we was legal in New York. I spent 3 days in the bookings for fucking blunt, rolling a blunt outside. I ain't even get to light this shit yet. They put me in the cuffs. I came out on Monday. I'm like, damn, bro, 3 days for fucking a blunt I ain't even smoke. It's crazy.
And that shit was fed to the sewer rats.
Man, I probably that shit was broken probably right in front of me. Like I ain't even know. I'm just so disappointed in myself. Like,
Or they kept it.
Could have been right. That shit was the
in
worst,
my pocket
bro.
real quick.
Hell yeah. Nah, they's having a party out there, so people probably drunk as shit. Fucking going crazy. It's that summertime. I ain't gonna lie, summertime hit. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, we
Block
was
party
just
season.
talking about it. We was just talking like I keep because every time I look to the corner, you know how you see the calendar on your computer, you see the date right there. Bro, I feel like we was just talking about it June 2nd, how this is gonna roll out. And we got so much. Did you feel like from the beginning of
Hold on,
June?
real quick. I have breaking news. Major League Baseball Hall of Famer and arguably the
Orlando.
greatest Latin American player to ever lace up a pair of cleats, Orlando Cepeda, has passed away at the age of 86.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. I seen that tweet too. Yeah, that's tough. Rest in peace, man. Condolences to the family. Cepeda family.
He had a restaurant at the ballpark for a minute in San Francisco.
Mm.
So if you ever watch a Giants game and you hear about the infamous cha-cha, that was his house specialty.
Damn, we got two Giants legends gone within
Willie Mays and Orlando Cepeda.
Man.
And Giants are getting their ass up by the Dodgers right now, so I'm gonna just look away from baseball for the time being.
But nah, this to me, just one more time doubling down on the whatever the tag team situation. Because looking at my notes, they announced that the Street Profits gonna take on Pretty Deadly. Now, I don't know if like I'm be honest though, like Pretty Deadly look better in the situation right now than the Street Profits did.
Yeah, they do.
Like I honestly felt like they even came back with a change, bro. I was expecting them to see them with a see-through crowd. They came through with some cool jean jackets with the pink trims.
They came back that was fresh off a Billy Ray Cyrus concert.
You feel me? I'm like, oh nah, this is a little different, Pretty Deadly. Like they give them, you know what I'm saying, fashion shit.
But also look how the profits have been used over the last couple months.
We bought the Bloodline.
Yeah. They done whooped your asses how many times?
I was just playing my GMO on WWE, bro. They reminded me, like, they asked me, the GM, yo, can you do? And then one of the responses is, no, I can't do that. Sorry. That's what Nick Aldis hit him with. No, we can't do that for you. Sorry, that's not happening tonight. None of that. You coming in here talking bloodline stuff. You get no bloodline match. Maybe he said maybe next week.
I just kicked Randy RKO and Cody out of New York City.
Man. I'm not gonna lie too. I just want to y'all tell me in the chat somewhere in the universe if y'all watching. How did you feel about being at this show? One, if you're a person that always goes to the show, what do you rate this? Because I know, like I was just explaining to Razor, I personally feel like I didn't miss anything. You know what I'm saying? I didn't miss anything watching, like from watching today's show from home, it didn't make me feel like, damn, I wish I was in the building.
While you do your little rant, I'm gonna get some ice real quick.
Yup. Damian Priest got stuck in the freezer. Nah, I'm playing. He got stuck in the airplane. How you get stuck in the airplane? Was the airplane in the air on the floor? Like, where was the airplane at that he got stuck? I don't know. Damian Priest got stuck though. So allegedly, I don't know. They said the main event of SmackDown was supposed to be Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. I'm not sure, like, if now if I don't know, because I'm trying to play speculate real quick. So if Damian Priest was supposed to main event SmackDown, is this on air or off air? Because I know sometimes I've been to SmackDown, they'll keep like after SmackDown go off the air, they'll keep the people there and have like 2 matches or so. So I'm not sure what that was, but again, it wasn't too much men's matches tonight. We seen a bunch of segments. We seen qualifying matches. We had Naomi versus Blair Davenport versus Indy Hartwell. I thought this was an okay match. Yeah, taking all that time away. Naomi's getting her joint. She's getting back. You know what I'm saying? Whenever she got one of these outfits on, I think it's go time. Like, she's lit. She not just like, even though she, like my boy Razor said, she looked like a controller today. She took her, her time, creativity to try to make this for everybody to notice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people be gaming, they going, oh, she a controller. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm an outfit person, bro. I don't know why. I could be wrong. I don't know if the wrestlers still live up to that, but I remember when back in the day when there was something special happening, somebody will always change a color, add more, you know what I'm saying, do less. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's it was cool, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Naomi, she got the win. Everybody having fun outside. It's you know what I'm saying? It's about to be 4th of July weekend, so.
So you was
But actually,
asking where
it's damn near.
You was asking where Damian Priest was?
Yeah.
He might have been at a Rhea and Buddy's wedding reception, explaining what
Mm,
Dom's bullshit's all about right now.
mm. But yeah, I mean, so like I said, I don't know if you heard, I was just telling them how Naomi won the match. So now we got Naomi in the Money in the Bank. And now we could finally really dive into the bloodline ceremony. Like, this is the last segment of the night right here. Now, we spoke on what we thought was going to happen in terms of, like you said, Paul Heyman was supposed to be anointed as the wise man of these things. Um, do you think what's the timetable now for you? Like, does anything change? Is it still the same? Does what happened to Paul Heyman tonight, getting attacked so viciously, does that change how you seen anything?
No, my timetable is still having Roman come back around sometime between the end of the year and the Rumble.
Mm.
It just makes Roman coming at number 30 that much more of a holy fuck moment, because you have the orchestra queuing in, you have the wise man come out, and then you have the tribal chief follow suit.
Ooh, we.
And it's going to be an Indy at Lucas Oil too. Pat McAfee is gonna lose his shit during that whole outing. He just say, "Cole, acknowledge your tribal chief." And this could be the Netflix era, so you can hear McAfee say, "What the fuck?" I'm telling you, I'm gonna justify these what the fucks one way or another. Like I will justify a boatload of these without McAfee trying to hurt his brain cells.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think he has fallen and is unable to get up at this time.
Oh no, I forgot. I had flicked this shit up. I forgot my. Nah, I forgot to set my shit to the other setting. That's crazy. I'm glad you said so. 'Cause I had just asked you something too. That's just crazy.
Now I was asking you, like I was saying, did you think that something was gonna happen to Paul Heyman tonight? Did you think somebody was gonna get attacked tonight? Did you think we was going that route?
The second Solo said that this is going to be Paul's anointment into my bloodline, I knew shit was going to go bad. Now, again, I said this before. I'll say this again. Someone give Paul Heyman an Academy Award for his acting, because this has been amazing these last few years. And again, it makes me that it's obvious that he's now excommunicated from the bloodline now, much like Jimmy and Jey Uso. I'm that much more invested into how this iteration of the bloodline, or the Pacific Savages, so to speak, take it from here.
You know what I love about this storyline too? This shit feels so gangster-ish in the sense of like, you know, like it's so many different levels of gangster-ish that shit is going on, like family gangster-ish, business gangster-ish, borderline club-ish, gangster-ish. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of layers in this shit for real. Cause like you said, Paul Heyman really got like my tears, and Solo got the vibe of a young dude that's taking over the block and got no respect for nothing that came before him.
He's saying he's the new shot caller. He's been putting the work. He's been putting dudes on. It's all he's been doing everything.
Yeah,
he's taking what's his,
and he kind of showing, like, I think something I overlooked myself is like, damn, Roman kind of took 4 years to do that shit. Respectfully, 3 years, whatever, to build this shit like this. Solo's trying to show like he doing this shit overnight, just bringing people in, like,
and it's testament to the old wise thinking when you follow the wise man versus the new kid on the block saying, "I'm here, they're not here." Was good. And I'm very intrigued to see where The Rock falls into this. I'm very interested to see how they reunite the Usos and Roman together with Heyman as the ones. I'm very interested to see where Zilla FATU falls into this. Whether they bring in Journey or Lance as well, or anybody. I want to see
the poking of the bear has begun. The Ula Fala was shown tonight on SmackDown and placed around the head and neck above the shoulders of one Solo Sikoa.
But not by the wise man. But by the werewolf.
I'm going to be honest. I thought he was going to put it on himself. That would have blew my fucking put it on himself. Mind. Like, I thought when Jacob had it in his hand, I thought he was just gonna fuck his head up. Like,
he looked at it for a minute.
Yeah, he kind of like looked at what was in his hand.
Like, so this is it. This is the crown right here.
For real. That's why I would, and then kind of like, I don't know, I'm probably looking into this part too much too. He puts the shit on him and kind of like gets out of there, like, you know what I'm saying? He kneels down, but like, as to like before, we'll see, like you said, the wise man. Oh yes, my tribal chief. Oh yes, like.
Well, and that's a callback to Jacob saying that he's the black sheep of the family. He's not worthy of being in the same presence of royalty.
I'm in cooking right now. Chat, chill. Ooh wee.
I drink and I know things.
Ooh wee.
Oh no, hold on, no, to continue Solo's anointment.
Ooh
I had
wee.
to bust out the Remy real quick.
The good stuff. Oh man.
But again, like, this is gonna be an entirely different bloodline, and shit's gonna get wild.
I think this needed to happen. The separation of Paul Heyman adds layers now. I mean, it's
So,
always whether he's there or not, but now it's so many different routes that we can dissect again.
and also the reason why this needs to happen is with Paul in his history, he's always handpicked his associates, not so much they're handpicking him.
Mm-hmm.
So again, yes, back then, there's another callback. Roman said that Solo will be the new tribal chief. It could have been Jay, but Jay fucked it up. It's gonna be Solo. Solo's gonna be the next tribal chief. Roman loses at Mania. Solo doubles down with the losses have consequences. And now he's got the either you stand by me and accept me as your leader, or you're a dead man walking. So regardless of what happens with Cody and him down the road, even if he doesn't win or whatever, even if he does win, at this point I wouldn't be mad at it anymore. Before I'd have felt type of way. Now I'm like, all right, if they actually put the belt on Solo right now, even if this goes south, if this is only going to solidify Solo as an actual top heel in the business, probably all of wrestling.
I think Solo's already kind of like. Remember when Dom still kind of got that when he get on the mic, but I think he's reaching more that cool factor, like where the shit with Liv is kind of making people like look at like Dom like, oh, he got the joints, you know what I mean? But Solo, I think he's there because again, I'm gonna make an argument for the top heels in the company by hook or by crook, they're fan favorites. Solo, I can't say right now is a fan favorite, and the fans hate him because he's good at what he do. He's trolling us. He's trolling the bloodline. He's trolling Roman.
It took the WWE over 20 years to cheer the Miz one time. Solo's doing just fine.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, when we got these heels, we shouldn't be alarmed. Like, because what alarms me more is when now you take the heel what once was and make him a fan favorite. Now he may no longer be a heel.
You mean like what AW is doing with MJF?
Yep. I'm your scumbag.
What they did was what the crowd ultimately did was Swerve.
Yep. I'm the people's champ. But like the thing is, it's cool, right? But I like how Moxley did it too, where like, or like just stay true to your nature, right? Like Gunther, like even though Gunther's a fan favorite, he's still a troll. Like he wasn't afraid to talk his shit in Saudi.
Well, the thing with Gunther that made him special was he'll tell everybody, either you're gonna respect me now because I'm being a gentleman to you, or I'm gonna beat the respect into you, and then you have no choice but to respect me because I just whooped your ass.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, not everybody can do that. But again, Solo, I think over time, especially if you were to get overthrown by Jacob or even the Gorillas, you can see that down the road. But right now, this is being executed perfectly. Because remember, when Solo first came in, folks wanted him to a degree to be like a third Uso just to keep that party going because they were the talk of the town before and after the Bloodline.
Yeah, there was a point that people couldn't wait for this moment that we're seeing right now. People couldn't wait for Solo to finally get, and he's having the look. and he's so good at what he's doing that the crowd is now they found their spot on the show where they get, oh, we want Roman.
Think about it. We've been waiting almost 10 years for The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and it's still almost 10 years later one of the most anticipated WrestleMania matchups of all time.
Crazy.
Almost 10 years.
Ooh-wee. When's the Money in the Bank?
Next week, July 5th. This weekend we have Forbidden Door, or this Sunday.
Oh shit.
Tomorrow,
Man, it's getting crazy.
Tomorrow during AW Collision, this was announced this morning, I believe. Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay will have a weigh-in.
The fuck?
I don't recall ever seeing that in AEW ever, to be honest.
Yo, they better not be in there with no towels and they boxes and all that. Like, this a boxing match, bro. They need to just go out there like Crash Holly, bro. Somebody wear the scale. Like, put that shit over your shoulders. You know what I mean? Talk your shit. Show that you could carry the scale out there. Don't give me no UFC weigh-in, bro. I don't want no UFC. With Tony Khan standing there in the middle watching them, you heard? Like, come on.
It's going to be a half-assed version of that. I can promise you that. And my concern is, like how most of this has been doing, Swerve's going to be playing second fiddle.
Imagine fucking Tony Khan right there in the fucking middle of these dudes. Fucking, like, come on, man.
You know it's going to be him, Don Callis, and Prince Nana. Fuck it. I may even watch it tomorrow. Let's see. No, hold on. I got UFC tomorrow. I'll catch it on Twitter.
Yo, and that you said. Oh, so that's tomorrow in the Collision.
Yeah,
they doing that shit. Oh man, because the pay-per-view on Sunday. Is this shit even fucking needed? Like, y'all couldn't.
No. This is where. So they dropped the ball on Swerve and Ospreay the moment it actually heated up. Believe it or not. And what I mean by that is there was a spot to where Swerve was basically calling on Ospreay's missus and his stepson, just calling their name. He says, "Don't bring up my wife and kid anymore, ever again." Swerve does it. Ospreay goes in the ring and just gets chested, and that was it. No punches, no takedown, no nothing. Which was a shame because that was a very solid back and forth promo session between the two of them. A nice little verbal joust. And just as quick, all the steam went away. So, again, unfortunately, it's looking like Ospreay will win this match. And
yeah, this is one of those dream matches motherfuckers don't want. Y'all want all of these dream matches. Then when it's two of your favorites and one of your favorites about to lose that belt, yeah, now it's something interesting.
Oh no! They've already set the table. Ospreay's gonna beat Swerve, and then it'll be Ospreay, MJF, and Wembley. They've already set that table.
I'm gonna be honest too, bro. MJF don't need to be in all of these kind of matches, bro. Like
he just got back.
It's that, but it's his style to me too. Like his style is like we were saying before. He's smart. It's a throwback. Don't highlight his imperfections, bro. Don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have him in high octane matches when his strong suit is the stick.
And regardless, again, I'm not saying he can't do those style matches because he most certainly can. It's just like you said, you maximize his work if you just stick to his traits. The minute, like you said, you focus on the imperfections, all you're doing is killing off his credibility.
Have they learned nothing from The Rock and WWE? Like, The Rock did not have a match until WrestleMania, but was on TV every week, cutting promos, whooping ass.
Tony Khan still believes that airing that CM Punk footage was the right thing to do for their company.
Wow.
They have not recovered from that since. Now, the numbers were a little bit better this week, but everyone's just still making fun of the numbers because everyone's like, y'all still lost to Kendrick Lamar last week. y'all lost to Kendrick Lamar and you're blaming it on Black Panther.
Motherfucker performed the same song 6 times in a row. It's crazy.
That's all. That's all I even put on Twitter. Like, if Tony Khan wants to get a million people watching that show, announce Drake for 5 minutes, even 2 minutes.
If he was smart, he'd try to get them in a match
or something.
Something.
I mean, shit. He's had Rick Ross. Bring Rick Ross. Have him sing a song to the BBL Drizzy beat. Something.
Again, I feel like they probably could have got more mileage out of Sting. Like, they got hella mileage out of him. But look at all the shit he was doing, bro. Like, it's unnecessary. I don't understand.
You could have had something with Cody Rhodes being managed by Arn Anderson and Andrade being managed by Ric Flair. That could have been something right there. You could have had something with CM Punk and FTR versus the Young Bucks and Omega. You could have had something with CM Punk versus Jungle Boy, CM Punk versus Hangman Page. There's a whole. You could have had. Fast forward to what Willow's been doing now. Willow versus Jade might have been a money match.
Cause what's MJF's finisher, bro?
That shit that Naomi does, but instead of Naomi does it on her knees. Know how they're against the middle rope, and she just jumps up and just spikes them.
Oh yeah.
With MJF, he sits out. You have that, and I want to say he has something else,
like a DDT or some shit, right? Or like,
oh no, he has a either DDT or a power driver, one of the two.
So like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, I think his strong suit, to be honest, like you said, they made him a face. He's the people's scumbag. But make him all the way a scumbag. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's the dirtiest player in the game, damn near. Like, he's almost like a Ric Flair without being Ric Flair with the robes and shit like that. He's like top notch heel, dog. Like, I don't understand.
Well, that much is obvious because, per usual, there's no big stars on the pay-per-view, so you bring back a guy who has been out for, well, no, MJ's been gone for about 5-6 months, so it's a little bit different for him, but yeah, but fresh off injury, he tells you in a promo he's not going to wrestle any luchadors. What do you have him do? You book him. You have him face probably one of the stiffest luchadors in the entire fucking world in Rouge. Only that is more physical than him will probably be Daga, who's in Pro Wrestling Noah. And then you have a jobber trio in the Cage of Agony announce that MJF will be in a match at Forbidden Door against an upstart from Mexico named Hechicero. That's the your number one guy. You're putting him in a flagship cross promotional show against a nobody. But because it's MJF, that should sell tickets. No.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
You have Jeff Cobb, who's been calling off the entire AEW roster to challenge him for his New Japan World TV title. He's not on the card this weekend. Supposedly, he was going to have an open challenge match. You might have something on the pre-show, if that, but he's not on the official card as of right now. You have Brian Danielson versus Shingo Takagi in an Owen Hart cut match, which it'll be fine, but
I'm pretty sure you've seen the reports, the Ricky Starks and Big Bill shit. How he didn't want to go over on Big Bill.
now that came from Meltzer, so I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt. Now nothing against Big Bill, but again, they never should have dropped the belts to Sting and Darby to begin with.
Why would they? That's crazy. Like, why would they even have them listed for a program? Like, I don't know. Cause like you got a situation where you could, like you said, they don't even need to be dropping the belts. I personally think that's a tag team I didn't even know I wanted right there.
They were starting to gain a lot of steam, and they were easily the top tag team in all of AEW.
Who the
Above
fuck
the Young
wants
Bucks,
Redwood?
above FTR. Like, this could have been the team.
I mean, that's what made Enzo and Cass kind of beastie. That like Cass was Cass, like 7 foot tall. You can't teach that.
Here's what's crazy. The folks were watching Starks and Big Bill, immediately draw comparisons to the two dudes with attitude, Shawn Michaels and Diesel. They were getting that kind of love from Jump Street.
Yeah, cause this Big Bill right here, he separated himself from what we knew in WWE. Like he's shredded, more mature,
Much more
like
polished in the ring. Like he's a dude now.
yeah.
But now he's got the Jericho stank on him.
Yeah, that Redwood. Who want the Redwood? Like, it's crazy. Bro, that's the day that you told me that shit. The very next day I turned on my TV and seen fucking Big Bill smiling in a fucking ring, waving his hand. It's just said Redwood.
From soft to that.
Yeah. A lot. I mean, again, I listened to the Matt Hardy on the Busted Open podcast, and I'm just not surprised no more at what they do. Like they don't know. They don't know what to do.
And I've said this on this show many times. I want to give them all the faith in the world, but they're not giving me any reason to justify said faith. Yes, certain things show promise here and there, but like I said, just as quick as they build it up, Tony Khan finds a way to piss all that away. Or excuse me, the Young Bucks and Chris Jericho find a way to piss all that away.
It's irony. We always say this too, but it's irony how you don't like the politics of said WWE, but you have to deal with another set politics that's arguably worse.
There's a reason why WCW's tenure wasn't as long as it deservedly should have been. But there's many reasons for that, but one of the key reasons to why they got into the rut that they did post Attitude Era was you had too many folks on top that were afraid of losing their spots when, let's be honest, Jericho and Young Bucks weren't top guys there from Jump Street to begin with. Jericho was a mid-card when he left WWE. He was a mid-carder in New Japan. The Young Bucks were still a junior heavyweight tag team.
I feel like dudes like Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth now, Matt Cardona, them showing that they didn't have to sign to AEW, and
Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa Ali, and they continuing to grow their stock without AEW. I mean, it don't seem like they're in an unhappy situation. They're getting their work off, whether it's here or there. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm here for a few months. Like,
I mean, they said the grass is green on the other side, but which side of the road are you looking at? but again, like I want nothing more than for AEW to make it to year 10, year 20, year 40, like where WWE just celebrated as far as WrestleManias. Like I want them to get there, but damn, they need so much work. It's not even funny.
I mean,
so aside from the Will Ospreay and Swerve stuff, you know what their biggest story is?
Tony Storm.
Yes, that and Mina Shirakawa fighting over Mariah May, smothering Mariah May with their bosoms.
I ain't gonna lie, it's because Tony Storm got the cake. Like, I don't mean to say it like that, but she be
But
playing into that shit too on TV. Like, I be watching
no,
they matches.
no, she knew that for a minute, but again,
Yeah.
you have again, and I kind of to a degree harp on this with WWE and NXT as they've done lately, as far as like we joked on as far as all the beautiful women in NXT for like conversation, but it's stuff like this, which is why the Bellas, Paige, Charlotte, Mercedes, Becky, Bailey, all of them kind of wanted to veer away from the Divas title or enunciation. The stuff like this, and to see this drawn ratings, and like I said, let's look at Mercedes and Paige, who were sparked the Divas revolution to where we started calling them women as opposed to divas. They're looking at this and they're going, well, what the fuck were we doing wasting our time 10 years ago to not be called this? And you guys want this back?
You saw what Chelsea Green said. If she wins, she gonna bring the Divas Championship back.
Mm-hmm. But again, I part of me feels like, so at first WWE and AEW were kind of doing the similar trajectory, but now it's, they're both kind of doing this as far as how they're going to move on from it. So again, you have, like I said, the women of NXT or even Chelsea Green saying go back to that because of its procedure, whatever. Whereas you have AEW to where they're only 1 week away from calling out a bra and panties match by the looks of it. Or 1 day away because they do a show on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
A good old TNA suit and tie match.
Well, WWF did that for a while, but again, announcers is a little different. But again, it just blows my mind that many of the women that are currently in AEW that were established in WWE, who were part of said revolution, are essentially on the shelves doing fuck all, watching the quote unquote top women do the same thing they were fighting to eliminate in wrestling, so to speak. It's fascinating.
I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, unwelcome your thoughts. Like, everybody's some fucking freaks, right? This is my issue too. This is why when everybody loved the Rhea Ripley and the Liv Morgan shit, like, it kind of annoys me a little bit because them girls been sexy. But what's making it stand out more is that they doing sexy shit. They doing sexual shit.
My argument is more so the fact is how folks are shaming WWE for going back to those antics with Liv sending the DMs and all that stuff, because you have folks, the AW fans on Twitter, stating that they are purposely endorsing a sexual harassment angle, blah blah blah. Whereas you have Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa rubbing their tits and asses against Mariah May, and essentially having a Mariah May on a pole match this weekend for that damn near.
Yeah.
And over there, it's as they call it, it's the real graps.
That's why I said keep the same fucking energy. Like, that's why my problem is when we come together as a community. Because unfortunately, if I gotta put myself in this space, I'm in the community, right? So when I'm in whether my opinion is the same or differs from the community, we all together. When we all put up these narratives and angles, like, oh, like you said, like, oh, WWE is terrible for this and for that. It's fucking entertainment. Then somebody else spin it and it's the greatest shit. Like, oh, with all respect, like, oh, Tony Storm is the greatest. because you know what I'm saying. Like, I ain't gonna lie, when I watch her matches in AEW, I just like see her doing no different than them. You know, like you just saying, like them spots, like oh, throw him into the corner. She falls face first into the crotch of the opponent, like doing crazy sexual shit. So, I mean,
But like I said, just keep the same energy. If you're gonna say that Debbie is doing sexual assault angles, well, what do you call the AEW shit some of the time?
I mean, I just don't understand why wrestling never came out and said that these storylines that they're portraying are like, know what I mean? It's just like a movie or like it's based off life, bro. Like what y'all like they want storyline. How could you make a wrestling like wrestling is an exclusive world, right? Like there's nothing like this. So to make a storyline, that's really fucking creative in itself. It could be easy once you're already in that realm, but it's like how do you continue to change the keep pushing the goalpost after that?
Now, I get it. Certain stories, certain angles have no place in wrestling. I get that. I mean,
Hmm.
no one, for example, no one wants to see someone essentially lynching another person. I get that. Even though AEW dangled Darby Allin, blah blah blah. No one wants to see a crucifixion angle.
Or
Yeah.
how about the reverse of it though? My bad to cut you off. You're right, we don't gotta see that. But how about when JBL was being fake racist and oh I'm controlling the border?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't gotta really show the visual, but now we got the superhero coming to wash up a JBL that's talk about this book. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a the now it wasn't received well, but WWE still did it. The Hassan shit with Undertaker.
Mm-hmm. Or even folks that try to forget. Do you remember Heidenreich?
Yup. He used to wear
Were
the red with the blonde hair.
were allegedly in one of his last angles, he was reading Michael Cole a poem while he was raping Michael Cole.
Crazy. I mean, who was it? It was Kane, the Triple H that had the sex with the.
Oh,
And,
the Katie Vick story.
yeah.
And I said, yeah, I mean, yeah, granted, yeah, you don't have to do everything as far as to push the edge, but again, like we say, for the most part, wrestling should. I get it, you want to target the kid audience or whatever to sell merchandise, but for the most part, yeah, you want to target a more mature audience. I get that.
Hold on, but what's different than like you said, we ain't gonna promote no domestic violence and no shit like that. But what's the difference between a nigga like a character in character? I'm just saying in character chat between a dude just fucking laying a short like I seen Suzuki beat the shit out of Oscar, bro. And y'all okay with that? Y'all love that shit? Cause it was done in Japan. It's alright. Fuck it, right? But we do it on American soil. It's like we calling for somebody to be arrested now.
Real quick sidebar on that. I'm glad you
Like,
brought up. I'm glad you brought up Suzuki. The next Bloodsport event Shayna Baszler is going to be at. She's calling out Suzuki.
oh, I mean, they probably let her beat the shit out of him, right?
No, Suzuki would be like, "Nah, she's harder than me. I'm good. I'm too
Yeah,
old
like,
for this shit."
yeah, like you know what I'm saying. Now she could get it in for real, for real. Like, yeah, if y'all know what I'm talking about, go watch Minoru Suzuki versus Oscar, man.
Versus, or it'd be
It was a
Suzuki
tag
versus
match.
Kana.
Yeah, it was a tag match.
I forget it was a tag match. To be honest, I thought it was a one-on-one.
Yeah, you fucking beating the fucking dog shit out of her.
I just remember that one scene where again he just apologizes her and just starts just going in.
Fucking grabbing her by the hair and shit, and just like kick. Like it looked like he was shooting on her, like for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, but from my accounts though, she told him to lay it on her. Like she told him to not hold back. So
She actually says, "I ain't afraid. I could take it."
yeah. So let
And
me
that
just state that also.
and
Hmm.
with respects in that culture, especially even then, it's far so much now to where, again, yeah, it's there. A lot of them have some antiquated ways of cutting their teeth, but sometimes you gotta just bite down the mouthpiece and say, "Hey, I gotta get my licks and earn my stripes."
Yep. And again, to prove my point, if done on American soil, this shit might go a whole nother way.
TNA was doing intergender stuff for a minute because Jordan Grace was a TNA world champion.
We just see. I don't know how often they've been doing it, but we've
They
seen
did
it
it
as
very
recent.
seldomly. Moose beat the fuck out of her. I think Eddie Edwards beat the fuck out of her.
AJ Francis has put Steph DeLanda to the table.
Oh, but we've seen that before. I mean, shit. Look at anything Bubba Ray related.
Right.
He's put Mae Young, who was a 7-year-old lady, through a table at the time. He put
And
Dixie
we
Carter
love
through a table.
and we loved it, bro. That's still talked about to this day. That's what I'm saying. This so sensitive, but I'm trying to play hero era in
And
time.
then
But it's
every
crazy.
once in a while, you have a situation with Jericho and Michaels. Remember that where he accidentally dropped a real punch on Michael's wife and blacked her eye?
Yep.
Yeah, so sometimes that's gonna happen. It's an accident. It's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
No. Shit happened.
but it's one of those. If all parties involved are knowing of the parameters or accepting of what could possibly happen, then all right. But again, at least just cross that bridge first before everything else goes to happen, and then us as fans, like I said, just keep that same energy. If you're gonna call one storyline a sexual harassment case, well, what do you call the Tony Storm miniature called Mariah May thing? Do you call that an orgy or what?
For real.
I'm being honest. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Just call it what it is. It's like, what are we supposed to call it?
Yeah, like what are you trying to perpetrate here? Like,
And then also on the same energy, you have several folks that pretty much want Serena Deeb to lose every match for the rest of her life because she's married to Marty Scurll. For those that may not know, Marty Scurll was one of the names that was unfortunately blackballed from the majority of the wrestling world during the speaking out movement. So because her husband made a mistake before they were together, he's owned said mistake. You want her to basically not enjoy her career?
and who's married to her? Oh, to him.
Serena Deeb is married to Marty Scurll.
Mm.
Marty Scurll is a guy who could have been major in AEW, a major player there, was very big in Japan, could have been a megastar in WWE, believe it or not. But now he's subjected to doing small shows in Germany, Puerto Rico, and I think he's in AAA with Kona. If not CMLL, though, he's somewhere in Mexico too. But again, Alberto Del Rio is another one. Made a few boneheaded, dumb mistakes, and everyone in America or all over the world just basically tells him because he's made mistakes and he's paid for his mistakes, he has lost his privilege to do what he enjoys. That keeps him out of said trouble.
Ain't no way motherfuckers like JBL and hated Del Rio when it's the same character. Ain't no way.
Oh, no. The internet wrestling community wishes death upon ADR most of the time.
I know it. I mean, I get why. Like, yeah, because, they on Page side and shit like that. And, yeah, whatever he did to her, that's fucked up.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm saying?
even for to a degree, Paige was like, hey, I was on some shit too.
That's what I'm saying.
We were both fucked up.
Like, yeah. Wrestling is a tricky thing because it's like, I think even as long as it's been around, there's no handbook as to who gets second chances. How do people get second? Like,
And
we live in such a fickle, finicky era.
And here's my question. When the Page sex tape leaked, how come Woods was the only one that did not get in trouble?
Company man.
So was Brad Maddox.
Nah. I mean, I could be wrong. I heard like reading shit online that he was like problematic anyway. Like, not so favorable with the attitude.
Yeah, but yeah, Maddox, to a guy who came in with WWE versus Woods, who came in off the Indies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like,
He ain't had no value though. Outside, like at least Xavier had his little video game shit he doing. Now I don't know if that was shaking off at that time.
This was before Up Up Down Down though. This was like right before.
Like, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, he was the one that didn't really face any ramifications. Instead, you award him with what we now know as a New Day. Again,
because when that shit happened, Woods was still part of New Day, right?
They had just started, I believe, like just started.
Okay. Yeah.
This. If anything, this was very early in that infancy.
I feel like Usos had said something about that shit in the.
Yeah, they touched it in that rap battle with Wale on commentary, going Javon. Big E, you know what's good. Just don't go all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, at the end of the day, just keep the same energy. If you want to get a chance at everybody, all right. If everyone's doing this, committing the same infraction, all right, treat it as such. Don't pick and choose who gets the chair.
That's all I ask. Because I honestly feel too much fickle shit happens, like where we can't really like. So this is my example. I'm gonna be honest. We really happy that Edge jumped off the ladder, off the steel cage and broke his legs. Like that's what we want to see these guys do.
Or Darby Allin diving through a pane of glass just because.
Cause a dude like Edge, this is why he left WWE. But what's your career like? Respectfully, you didn't get. You already had this Cinderella story. You got injured and you retired with the belt. You came back and wanted more. You wanted another Cinderella story. You should have just been happy coming back and selling out arenas, dog. Like being in the main event with Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan.
I mean, I hate to say it, he left WWE because he didn't want to be a mid-card, just everyday body. Like you said, look at him now.
That's tough.
I mean, honestly, fast forward now, I would have loved to see him and Randy go at it in front of a crowd. Would have loved to see him and Drew one more time. I would have loved to see him and Solo go at it.
Him and CM Punk would have been crazy.
Him and Priest could have got a lick back for Edge getting kicked out of Judgment Day.
Yep.
There's a lot you could have done with them. And again, like you said, in front of sold-out venues all across the world. Hell, you could have got Beth Phoenix another run too.
They got her to pop out a few times.
Like, wouldn't you want to see Bianca versus Beth Phoenix versus Bayley, Beth Phoenix versus Bianca, Beth Phoenix versus Rhea Ripley?
Like, even I'm gonna be honest too, Christian, like that Royal Rumble appearance he did the same time that Edge came back. Now this is his best work, I think, Christian. But I wouldn't have mind seeing him in the land, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if he chooses to leave now, I think all these dudes got they best work. It could maybe possibly come in AEW, but WWE is where it's gonna be safe. You might catch injuries there, but it's not gonna be doing dumb shit. You gonna catch either freak or knick-knack injuries.
Now,
That's the injuries you get.
Christian is another one, much like with Kurt Angle, to where, and even the Dudleys, he was more famous in TNA than he would have been in WWE. That's just a fact. Like, some guys are just better suited outside of the machine. Like, whether it be Kurt Angle, whether it be a Christian, you can argue like Samoa Joe was already a megastar before and after WWE. Matt Cardona would be another one. Like, certain folks, and it's okay to be that anomaly. Like, not everyone's meant for the machine. But again, one can also argue that once they have their fun outside they have an open door policy to go to the machine, make the same amount of money, and to do whatever they're doing now. But not only it's safer, and you make drastically more on merch money because you're selling out all over the world.
Yeah, you got to change rooms, like you said. Like obviously, if WWE it's a lot of big fish, sharks in the WWE. So sometimes to be successful, you might have to change rooms for a second. Like you might have to humble yourself and be like, I like, I to get to this point, I gotta leave here, sharpen my tools if I want
What
to
was
decide to
Cody's
come back.
reasoning for leaving the first time 8 years ago or 9 years ago? He
Why?
wanted to prove that he can actually draw a dime in WWE. So he left, earned his grind on the indies, or when he came back, again, there's a reason why he says undeniable to undesirable. I'm going to come back and I will be beyond a shadow of a doubt a star. When I come back and walk through that curtain, you can't tell me otherwise, because once I walk through those curtains, all you're going to see is money fly out my ass.
And then you see some like the way Cody did it, he had a real good plan. Some of these dudes do this shit and they make like one Twitter post. They post up their flyers for their next like
So
wrestling event, but they not really making no what's the word, like no impact. Like Cody really made a impact.
That's a little aggressive. I'll counter that
Hell
with
yeah.
It's one thing to make a plan. It's another thing to commit to that plan and nothing else. In which that's what Cody did. Cody, his main focus was knocking down a list of guys on his list who he felt 5-6 years from that time will be stars. Some names on that list: Swerve Strickland, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Joe Hendry, Ethan
That's
Page.
That's what I'm saying. That's a well thought out plan. Some dudes just go to sign to a company, like look for work.
That's a sign of Cody, much like Triple H, being a student in the game. He knows what's out there. So again, he probably tells Triple H and Vince McMahon, respectfully, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to take on whoever you have under your umbrella, and I'll tell you if they're a star or not.
Because for me, the best match was the Kurt Angle match.
Is that the one where Kurt did the moonsault and banged his ankle on the roof?
I think the one that I enjoyed was when they was outdoors.
I was saying because they had a couple cage matches, but one I remember was I can't remember which one it was. One of them tried a moonsault, and their foot kicked in the top floorboard of the ceiling, and they kind of got stuck for a quick second.
Crazy.
Took out the whole light fixture.
Nah, I think the one I'm talking about was when they was in the baseball stadium.
Oh, I remember that one too. Yeah, that was a good one too.
That one was, I was like, oh shit, Cody really hanging. Like all these other dudes, like you said, they up and comers, but Kurt Angle, even though he was already getting to the back end, I'm like, nah, this is still a Hall of Fame though.
When you have Cody Rhodes and Kurt Angle running up and down the indies, that was my opinion of a Dusty Rhodes and Flair going through a normal NWA loop. They're just going across every town, damn near together. Hell, even Jake Hager was having some fire matches with Cody on that same circuit.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, to your point, maybe a Mustafa Ali. I think he probably planned his shit out. Like, he seems like, okay, I'm gonna Matt Cardona. But those are few in between. I see a lot of people that they front like, it's kind of like what Cody said in that promo. I'm not going to be that one that you said, oh, wait for the next chapter. And there is no next chapter, really. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You take the moment with your own bare hands.
Yeah. Like, unfortunately, like for AOP, they wasn't really doing nothing either. They was about to start up their own organization. But Triple H, however they got back, that's how they got back. They weren't doing nothing that got them back.
Because much like with Cross and Braun, Triple H says, "I'm in charge now. Please trust me on this."
Yeah.
Probably in that tone. But back real quick to the Cody stuff. Did you happen to hear or read about his remarks about whatever it was CM Punk said a while back?
Nah, you might have to refresh me on that.
So CM Punk basically said that he's back in WWE to help the next generation. And Cody, to paraphrase that, basically said, "Well, that's a red flag in my book." While in his mind, he's looking at it, and this is, to my theory, why we've been inching towards of a heel, black-haired Cody Rhodes, in which he'd be like, "All right, yeah, you're here in the prime of your life. If you can still fight, why are you here to help them get better than you? You're back. You should want to come from us. You should want to be the top guy. You have too much gas in the tank to put your foot on the brakes right now."
I'm gonna be honest, we be gassing CM Punk too. Cause he gotta earn that shit from us. Like, we be giving everybody everything. The man hasn't even had a singles match aside from that live event shit.
But you have someone like Cody, who is the current world champion, and say, "No, fuck that. No, we appreciate you for what you actually are. Be that guy." It reminds me of some of what Punk and Triple H when they were going at it back in like 2010, 2011, to where Punk tells Triple H, "I don't want the new you. I want this you. I want the old you. The new you sucks."
Right.
And so with Cody, when calling out Punk, "I want the best in the world. I want the voice of the voice. I want that CM Punk. This new guy right here, he ain't it. I ain't feeling that."
Unfortunately, I just think that's always been CM Punk, bro. Like,
Well, it's always been CM Punk, but I think we're seeing, like I said, like we said, it's a more mature CM Punk. He's looking at this from WWE as a whole different outlook on life to a degree.
yeah, bro. He's not, to me. He's never never
he
been the
has
same.
he has a newfound appreciation for the environment, and he has a sense of trust in that it's not like how Vince was running it back in the day. So he heard from it through his friends. He's seen with his own eyes. He's accepting of that. And he's like, "All right, I'm cool. I'm good. Life is good." And then you have Cody seeing that in him, and he's probably looking like, "That's not the CM Punk I know. I want the old CM Punk, because that CM Punk will give me a good fight, and I can make money with that CM Punk."
I think CM Punk shows glimpses of it, but again, like you said, we seeing the more like this is a more tired. Not, I don't want to say tiresome, but this is a more older CM Punk. Like,
I don't want to use this term, but with all due respect, I have no other synonym that comes to mind. The man's fucking neutered. I have no other words to put it other than that. Compared to what we saw during prime summer of Punk, to what we could have had in AEW, whatever. Again, the man's damn near neutered. And again, it's nothing against him. It's just he's of the state of mind to where if he fucks this up, ain't nothing left. I get that. However, people hold you to this regard for very specific reasons, and you toning back on certain shit is some of the reasons why folks love you to begin with. It don't got to be all the time, but when duty calls, bring that guy out, because that's
it happened in AEW a little bit, right? Where his first few weeks, he's over here jumping in the crowds, and then he had to eventually come out and say, "All right, I think it's time for like us to stop this the happy thank you parade." Like,
what happened to CM Punk when he returned and says, "I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money."
right.
That's the CM Punk of old. And again, like when him and Cody left AEW, they probably never will recover from that. because you had Cody who had a clear vision on what the identity of AEW could and rightfully should be. You have CM Punk, who was a mainstay of the original Ring of Honor, who was a main guy in WWE, who can speak on both parties, essentially, can help get AEW to whatever vision Cody is trying to set or whatever, or even if Tony had a different vision in his own right, he could have got him there. But I think what sparked Punk's current persona, his current thought process was you had guys like Hangman Page, which was the same people who told Medusa, as we recently learned, that the new generation, especially over there, in their minds, they have nothing new to learn. They know they know enough. Well, if you know enough, why the fuck are 2/3 of the venue empty? And that's being generous. Usually it's like 80% of the building is empty. If you had nothing to learn, there won't be an empty seat in this building, and you'd have a line out the door just in case folks want to go take a piss break.
It's two things for me. It's laziness, which is kind of obvious, and then secondly, my boy Cap likes to refer in sports. There's a huge market for what we call sexy maneuvers, like like $1 million move with a 5-cent finish kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what some people enjoy fucking doing, and it's beyond us, right? But
okay, but you got 80 motherfuckers that can do the same goddamn shit. So again, if everyone's doing said $1 million moves,
but when
why aren't they no ass in the seats?
Because when everybody's getting paid, if this is the harsh reality. If I'm getting paid $1 million fucking dollars, I don't care where the company's going. I'm shit AEW shit because I should be caring where the company's going. But when you get in that paycheck, you just fucking you're putting on what you think is a banger. Your money's not changing. If you put 3 stars or 5 stars, you still contracted. You sent me how much they spending, right, for the year.
So that's the rumored amount, and again, that price is probably for maybe, all honesty, if that's for the whole show, whether it's per year or per month or whatever, that's a lot of fucking money.
And hold on, that was for the whole show, just for talent alone.
I don't think that might have been for talent alone, but again,
talent alone, not the production, not the cameramen.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Yes,
and that's including flying in guys like Ospreay and Okada, probably business first class to and from. That probably makes up for a good chunk of the money. It probably makes up for Pac's flight as well. It probably makes up for a lot of like the Latin American guys' visas, I'm sure, because that can't be cheap if you add it up with a boatload of guys. But still, it's like no wonder you're in the rut you're in. And again, like how much is that? How much are you paying Taz? How much are you paying Mark Henry? How much are you paying JR, Jarrett? Guys that could actually help you grow as a business. Because, for example, for Ring of Honor per se, for that price could have been maybe anywhere from 4 to 10 years worth of TV with talent for them. And they're putting on amazing show after amazing show all over the U.S.
It's the psychology, man. The wrestlers themselves, the people who's performing the craft have to be like, you have to have a willingness to learn. That's key. And it's tough because you got to be that way.
And a part of that, I feel like us as fans are responsible for the modern style because we've heavily praised Shawn Michaels doing a Sweet Chin Music. We've heavily praised Petey Williams doing a Canadian Destroyer. And that's since influenced other guys to do it. That we put Rey Mysterio, and then for those that are fans of Indies, Amazing Red on this level of the untouchable cruiserweights that can do any and everything. So we're kind of to blame for that as fans, but that by no means justifies the fact that the way one show has been presenting everything else. Us being a fan of the hardcore stuff, that's a very small, minute audience of the global conglomerate that is wrestling fans. There's some folks that prefer the technical European style. There's some folks that prefer the traditional lucha libre. There's some folks that simply prefer Japanese strong style. There's certain folks that prefer old school 1980s wrestling. There's some folks that strictly prefer WWE, whatever. But on the same note, there's so much for everybody as a whole. If you really want to invest in something for everybody, it's so much easier than what people think it is. Like, look at WWE. Most times we'll get, on an average pay-per-view, we'll get like a little bit of lucha stuff, a little bit of European stuff, a little bit of strong style. We get a little bit of everything. AEW is strictly all gas, no breaks for 4 hours on the pay-per-view. Most matches kind of seem it is what it is. Once in a while, you might get a good moment here or there, but to be honest, again, in 5 years, the only big moments that are big moments to me are Moxley debuting at the first Double Nothing and giving Omega a DDT through a poker chip or whatever. It might have been a glass table to set their match, whatever, one or two, but that was very early on. I remember, unfortunately, the brawl out stuff. I remember, unfortunately, the stories of Andrade trying to get fired on purpose for slapping Sammy Guevara. I remember the Wembley drama. Rick Ross getting in trouble for saying, "Get that motherfucker right there." Just unfortunately, like with AEW, they're plagued by all the bad stuff surpassing some of the good that they've done over the years.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not fair to them, but it's like, I mean, this is the landscape that you've created yourself.
I don't know, man. They just, like you said, they haven't been doing themselves no favors. I don't see, like, I want to ask you straight up though, like some of these dudes that's around, not just in AEW but WWE period, like, do we really see a dude like Andrade beating Andre the Giant? Like, they shouldn't even be. Even look at how Alberto Del Rio had to beat Big Show in that last minute. Nigga had to
Yeah,
tape his legs to the bottom of the rope and shit. Like,
so allow me to answer that by setting this alternative. If booked properly, I can see a world in which Andrade beats Macho Man. I can see him in a world in which he beats Warrior.
Warrior 2?
Yes. If this Carl Andrade or even next to whatever, it presented a certain way, I could picture that, because again, he has the certain ring work. If you had him a mouthpiece, it'd be easier for him, because I mean, yes, he's getting better with his English, but with a mouthpiece might be better off as a side killer. But again, as far as bell to bell, I can see him being Savage. I can see him being a Warrior. I could even see him beating Brett back in the 90s.
That's crazy. Ultimate
And that,
Warrior flattened Triple H in like 11 seconds.
no, but this is because I've seen his work in Mexico and Japan as La Sombra. I've seen his NXT work as Andrade El Idolo. I've seen the AEW. So I've seen enough of them all around to that. Okay, if we're comparing then versus now and like a little cross motion thing, I could see that happening.
Or even
But
like, cause some of my argument is like, I take some of the primes from now. Now you'll probably give me the like not you, but I'm saying people probably give me the Will Ospreys, the people that's not in WWE, obviously, because the primes from before will probably all come from WWF or maybe outside. But I think those dudes were the way that their characters were built, and like Hulk Hogan, whenever he was getting beat up, he had to you brother like it was kind of like that R2 button in 2K. You know, like the older dudes had them R2 buttons and shit. Undertaker with the setup.
So, do you know what the common denominator with between this era and that era is?
So
Most, if not all of them, did work in Japan, which means they are all well versed in the traditional Japanese strong style. You are taught how to tell a story through violence, but strictly hand-to-hand combat. That is how you sell the story. Not so much from the flips and the high spots. That's all Mexico stuff. But it's more just the physical combat. Whereas, like I said, in the UK, it's more submission based, and Mexico is more high flying based. But traditionally in Japan, it's strictly you put the dukes up and you treat it like it's a fight. So again, with Andrade, who has a history in Japan and in Mexico, is well versed in that Japanese strong style. Hulk Hogan was a megastar for Giant Baba in Japan long before Vince got him. Hogan's best work was before he got into WWF. That's what folks don't understand.
you know,
Because it's
Andre
very
ain't losing like 8 years, bro. He gonna get now. I give you this though. If Andrade get in that back end of Andre the Giant,
okay. So Andrade may not beat Andre, but you know who probably would?
who
Maybe
that?
a Gunter,
Mm,
maybe a Braun Breaker.
mm-mm. I think Braun too small. There be times like
Braun, height wise, Braun might have been a little undersized, but again, that level of physicality.
yeah, he would have had to take like he'd had to spear his knees out.
But again, it goes back to that OG style of, again, especially with Japan. It's like they're not going to let you give it unless you can take it just as hard. So again, it's trial by fire. You got to earn your stripes by combat. So in Andre's case, being from that old school style, he'll probably see like a Gunter or a Braun's physicality, and he'll probably have Bobby tell Vince, "This is a guy right here. This is a guy." And that's how folks cut their teeth under their stripes. Again, you show out in the ring, or sometimes you meet him at a bar, you pay for his tab, or you say, "Hey, salud," break bread with him. That's how you would cut your teeth. It's either way by the combat or by breaking bread. It's all just networking.
Mm-hmm. I just think like some of the dudes now, like well, it's not their fault, but we're calling for too many people to have a spot that's like, bro, realistically, bro, we could give you this look, but you taking out a real marquee matchup. Like,
And Tentuition, like that's kind of why I said instead of Andrade beating Andre, I could see him beating a Savage or a Warrior. They're not quite that level, but they're equally respectfully is up there potentially, depending on who's talking.
again, like it was interesting. I'm gonna go back to it. What Undertaker said to Chris Van Vliet. He was doing bad with the championship, and Vince made the call on a Monday night to switch the
Mm-hmm.
title. We need more of that. Yo, if he's not cutting it right now, we not here to burp people, bro. The show must go on.
So now again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but there's a reason why Vince kept putting the belt back on Brock for the last 10 years. They weren't moving the numbers. They weren't
Right.
moving the merch. Again, all love to Kofi, all love to Big E.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It's way easier for me to buy a Brock Lesnar shirt before I buy a New Day shirt, bro. As much as I could love them, I'm not gonna be outside like with the New Day, like you know what I'm saying. Like I'll probably buy it to have for the house, like collection shit, but like,
You wasn't fucking with that powder blue Bootio shirt?
nah, I don't even have. You know which one I almost did? It was a black one. I don't know if you remember a Halloween one that they had.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like black, green, and orange or some shit like that.
What with their OG logo on it?
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like some real old one, but them colors right there, like that Miami colorway, like that Miami Vice. I only thought about it because I'm like, yeah, I like that Miami Vice way, but it was too much unicorns and foolery and
And again,
Bootio.
they're targeted as kids, but when you see Brock and you see the Beast Incarnate logo, the sword sticking out the mouth, the fish hooks on the side.
The classic
What's up?
F5 shirt from Young Brock. Like I got the Young Brock shirt too. The one, remember the black and gray shirt that he had when he came out when he was like the youngest champion, that F5 Fury shirt. I got that one.
When Taz dropped the catchphrase for the single greatest video game they've had, "Here comes the pain."
You
That
gonna
Brock
tell,
Lesnar.
yeah, bro, you gonna tell me eat, sleep, conquer, repeat didn't mean something? Suplex City didn't mean something? Those were moments. Niggas just ain't make shirts because they look cool. Those were fucking moments. Eat, sleep, conquer, repeat. Then he did the streak. Repeat. Like what? Suplex City. Those were fucking moments. Not just making shirts because they look cool and shit. Like that's the difference. Like you said, you putting a strap on niggas that's making moments. Lifetime shit. Like damn. Sometimes
Or
you gotta do just hold like.
and again, regardless of how if folks think that Brock, now hopefully Brock's name gets cleared of all the Vince bullshit, because that would probably be a heavy blow to WWE as a whole, just not having Brock. But again, assuming they let him back in with open arms, the minute he drops that first German, all you're gonna hear is 15 plus other people will chant Suplex City.
I'm trying to tell you. That shit meant something right there.
Or even when we got Brock in the bank, Cowboy Brock with the cowboy hat just saying Bobby. And that
Even
was money.
even The Rock, right? Like, you know, shout out to my brother Snakes. He thought that The Rock wasn't gonna win the championship coming back as to where I thought he was based on what Brian said. And then you look at it, it gives Roman the break and The Rock raising the numbers even more. Like Roman made this shit cool, Rock made it cooler. It's just it is what it is.
Oh well, I mean, Roman brought the relevancy back, but Rock definitely brought the cool factor back because it is The Rock.
And the way he did it with the final boss.
There's a reason why everyone dubbed him the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. There is a reason why he's still to this day called the People's Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, like and what he much like Roman had to scratch his claw his way up to the top.
Because I could safely say that I know people that they were tuned in because of what The Rock was doing, and not so much because of what the Bloodline was doing the last few years. They heard that The Rock came back and they lost their shit.
I had folks that would hit me at the blue asking when was WWE gonna be on because they saw Rock on McAfee's show.
That's the right. Like people that ain't been watching in years, and it's probably not even nothing towards the Bloodline. Like they probably ain't even have a chance to catch up
Because they didn't care to watch, but Rock's pulling up. Hey, yo, what channel is it on?
So again, like
Rock pulling up.
right, like why not put the belt on somebody like that for a few months, and then no. So it's like I don't know. Again, they thinking different. Everybody thinking different. Like WWE might not have to like the money might be already made for them that situation don't got to be handled like that no more.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but between 2012 and 2016, wasn't Rock champion a couple times when they first started changing the belt designs?
Yeah.
And again, WWE was in a dark time then. Rock came in, moved the numbers a little bit, but again, they wanted Punk, they wanted Daniel Bryan, they wanted everybody else.
Right. The Rock took the belt from Punk at the height of his fucking streak.
Mm-hmm.
The height of his 300 and something days. Or
And
whatever.
then we got twice in a lifetime.
That part.
Let it out. Let it out.
Saying like we done seen. I mean, again, we're in a new regime, but to me, the oldest one was like Hulk Hogan when we was in that 2002 era when he still had the Hollywood Hogan pants on, but he was red and yellow.
Coming out to Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, I think. And matter of fact, Brock beat him for that title, right?
No,
That
no,
was
no, no.
Brock.
So no. Brock
Oh
beat
no,
Hogan in
Rock.
King of the Ring. He beat Rock at SummerSlam that year.
Slam. Yeah.
That was like one of the last times we've seen Hogan like bloodied up and shit because Brock beat the fuck out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I mean, that's also. I mean, Hogan kind of gets a lot of slack during that time because if you think about it, he made Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton in that year.
And he had that match with Rock. What was it? A year later or the
Oh no,
the year
no.
before?
Around this time, he put Brock over, he put Randy over, and then he put Edge and Michaels over.
And if you even want to sprinkle Zach Gowen in there when he became the Mr. America or whatever he was doing. Remember with the red, white, and blue mask?
Yes. That was around a time where he was solidifying Brock as a killer. But again, like folks say that Hogan cared about himself. He made arguably 4 guys that run, all of them future first ballot Hall of Famers. Well, Michaels is a Hall of Famer now, but again, you still had Orton, you still had Edge, you still had Brock. Folks forget Hogan won a tag team gold with Edge. That might have been here in Sacramento, if I'm not mistaken, believe it or not.
A lot of rich history.
Yes,
you got to
sir.
go back and you got to go back. But I think just to like spend a block on everything. Me personally, it's hard for me to care about AEW when like my main thing and my mission statement, since they got a mission statement, is they support the same people that push narratives and is spewing propaganda. So I can't really fuck with that. To me, WWE always just did their fucking thing, bro. They ain't never really cared what y'all was talking about as us as fans. They just put the product out there, bro.
I mean, WWE has been spewing propaganda now. The difference between them and AEW is when AEW is spewing propaganda, they'll call WWE by name. WWE won't do that.
No, you see, but the thing is, right? That part I get, but I feel like WWE never directly did shit for the fans from the standpoint of propaganda, as to where AEW is like, oh yeah, y'all don't like WWE, yeah, come here because we're gonna give you everything that's not like, bro. Why I gotta be all that? Like, why you
And
gotta
now
like?
now it's come to their whole argument. Their selling point is why should you watch us? Because we're not WWE. And then folks will go, well, WWE is selling out all over the world. Well, yeah, but they're the Harvey Weinstein of professional wrestling. We're real wrestling over here.
Right.
It's like that's not much. That's not an argument.
And then you know what I'm saying? That part is said, and now the tribalism begins where like the people that they fighting for their company with like the fans are fighting for their company. So now everybody got this heavy opinion on shit that, bro, you just speaking with empty statements. Like there's no concrete facts. It's just bloated opinions.
Yeah, and
Name
then like,
calling.
and as far as the Weinstein stuff, yeah, that stuff it is what it is, and it sucks. But if we're comparing Weinstein to as far as being part of some major movies, okay, WWE's Pulp Fiction. What are you, Bambi?
It's crazy.
I said, like, those arguments can you can spin those in many narratives. And again, another issue that they have is WWE. They're not as they don't screw from judgment much like AEW has in the past. Like when they fuck up, they'll be like, "Hey, we dropped the ball on that one. We'll get you on the
Right.
next
There's
one."
some ownership there.
Whereas AEW, you bring up anything bad that they've done or anything that didn't really quite hit, all Tony Khan will say is, "We've had a great run of shows, a great run of pay-per-views. Everything is great. Everything is rainbows and sunshines."
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's another thing. WWE never really fed us the analytics. They didn't keep. You know what I'm saying? They kept certain things private with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. With them, it's like, you want to know what's going on? All right, tune in.
Yeah, bro. It wasn't so like I don't know, bro. Kind of like Tony Khan kind of kills the mystique of certain shit. To be honest, and the way you present it now, it's kind of feel like a little tongue in cheek. Like you're a little either showing off or you real defensive. Like I don't really read this shit and feel celebratory about it.
And if you think about it, you have nothing to be defensive about. I mean, most times you had a great show that some shit kind of died out here and there, which with a lot of pay-per-views, folks are like, does it need to be 4 hours long every time? Especially on a Sunday when motherfuckers got work in the morning.
Again, like you said, they trying their hardest to not be WWE. Who does 4 hour pay-per-views? WWE.
Only on WrestleMania, maybe the Rumble. Other than that, they've all been 3 hours.
Correct. It's like why are you trying to max out on, you know what I'm saying? Like do something different. You see they in the 3 hour ballpark. Why not try two? You know what I'm saying? Do three or
and,
two
and,
and
and,
like try
and,
something.
and does every single card need 10 to 12 matches within those
No.
said 4 hours?
And all no.
Now, if you had certain stories established, you can argue that, but when you're blowing through so many quote unquote angles and stories, each month we're getting a blow off, and then we're on to something else. So it's like whatever happened in this show, you don't even give it a chance to breathe, so therefore it gets forgot about.
And again, to me, there's no prestige on the titles. Like they've had one. If I could be wrong, there's one continental tournament, but the championship remains for that. Like, like that title rubs me the wrong way. The continental one, to be honest.
And what happens when they don't get picked up by Warner Brothers? You got to get rid of the TNT belt, you got to get rid of the TBS belt, and a couple other ones, at least. And then you got to ask yourself, okay, well, what do you do with the Ring of Honor belts? Do those just disappear too, or what? What about the 200 plus folks you got on the roster in total? Are you Tony Khan gonna pay to keep all of them on the payroll, knowing that everything that you're doing is completely out of pocket? Because their media negotiations window is coming to a close in a matter of days. So either they're going to stay on TNT, or effective October, they will no longer have a TV provider and they'll be on their own. And many of us have joked about them being on their own or whatever, but at the same time, it's like, again, Tony has to realize that he put himself in this situation. Things could have been drastically easier for him. Unfortunately, he put his faith in the wrong people. And now here we are 5 years later, and they're still making the same mistakes they were doing year one. There is no reason why. Look, even Dynamite's number last week, because I thought last week was one of their better Dynamites from what I saw. And it drew one of the lowest numbers, if not the lowest number, in the history of their existence. With the amount of talent, I said this before, the level of talent on that roster, that is healthy. The level of wisdom you have on the payroll, there is no fucking reason why you were in the jam that you were in. There's no reason. There should be no reason why you can't sell out 10,000 plus seat arenas every week. You're struggling to put 2,000 or 3,000 butts in a seat. Just blows my mind.
Yeah, I've never seen like I haven't seen nothing like that except maybe Global Force.
Yeah.
And that went down pretty quick. So this got a little legs on it, but it's not doing any favors right now. Everybody leaving.
As negative as it sounds, it's studying like what's actually happened there. It's actually very fascinating because it's like you can look at any type of logistics and you can just go, ain't no fucking way this is gonna get less than this. Guess what? It's less than what you even thought it was gonna be. And then you look at the alleged budget for it, and it's like, how?
I think part of that is like trying to really not monopolize the situation, but bite off more than you could chew. Probably what I'm trying to say. Trying to acquire so much talent when that's probably not even the best decision. Just focus on the talent. Yes, acquire some, but have a main focus on this is the main thing we working on rather than every new person that comes in, every form of talent from WWE, you're going to give them the look because you know, or you think that's what's going to draw for you.
SmackDown wasn't a thing until almost, 10 years after Raw was on the air or something like that. A few years well after Raw was on the air before SmackDown became a thing.
Yep.
AEW got 4 shows, honestly, if you count the YouTube shows, in less than a year.
Yeah, they lost their mind.
And in those same shows, no, Collision came a little later, but we still had Rampage. But in those same shows, you with the exception of Dark, you featured the same guys on every show. So what was the point of having different shows if you're gonna have the same folks on all the shows?
But why have so much talent if you're gonna have the same people on all the shows? That shit don't make sense.
Where, like I said, you have folks that you're paying all this money for. Some of them work once a week. Some of them work maybe once a month, maybe twice a month, and you're paying them all this money. But again, like tomorrow with Collision, I may dabble in the weigh-in. I may not. I'm not really looking forward to it, but I'll be watching Forbidden Door, and we'll see what comes out of those 4 hours.
Yeah, Chad, I might check that out too. We already got that lined up. Now I'm saying it's going to be an exciting summer, to say the least. In a few days, we done with June, but I think we done with June right now. Like
this weekend, we're done with June.
Yeah.
And then 4th of July next week. Like I said, you got Forbidden Door this week for AEW. You have Money in the Bank next week, and then a couple weeks after that, New Japan starts their G1 tournament. That's gonna be a fun tournament for the summer. We got SummerSlam in August. When's Bash into Berlin? Is that
I
June
know
as well or
August.
August? Okay. And then we'll have Wembley in between then as well, and then All Out, if assuming that's still in Chicago, around Labor Day.
Mm. Well, there it is.
Well, I think it's. I don't know if it's next week during the Go Home show, or maybe they just were there, but I think AEW's got a Chicago show coming up.
Mm.
It might be this coming week, but this will be the first time they've been in Chicago since they've shown that video.
I think Chicago will still be a good crowd for them, but
I mean, Chicago's gonna be something. They'll probably still. I would hope they will still show out for them. But I mean, there's so many folks that have gotten an exuberant amount of TV time there that are losing. They've lost so much steam there. Just like there's no point even bringing them out.
yeah.
Look at this week one of the Women's Own Heart tournament. This this might have been Nyla Rose's first TV match this year. And
Insane.
it was essentially close to her hometown, but it was in a losing effort.
Yeah, I ain't see her get a look in a minute.
But again, with AEW, I can only hope for the best. What they choose to do is entirely on themselves.
Chat, let us know what you think AEW should do, man, cause they down bad. They need some pointers.
I mean, they won't listen to the 200 plus years of wisdom already on the payroll, so they like to listen to the internet. So yeah, what do you guys have?
Man.
Now, and it was funny. As some of you may say I'm a W loyalist, but I'm much more sympathetic to AEW because I want them to succeed. Like I want them to do better. I want them to actually prosper because that means more stuff I get to enjoy during the week when I'm off work.
That was the wrap up for today, y'all. Off the hip, Bloodline in the Garden. Razor, you want to add something else today before we get out of there?
Wikipedia has updated Paul Heyman's obituary.
I'm screaming. Yeah, Paul Heyman got that dirty. It's over for the wise man right now. He had the 5 o'clock shadow. He was crying. Like you said, next time we might see him, he might come back with nah, I mean, a little beard or something. Maybe the old Heyman look we know, but tonight he looking stressed out. They put him down.
Also, as announced this morning, effective today or June 28th, the merger between Stardom and New Japan has been completed. So New Japan now 100% owns Stardom.
Okay.
Which
Stardom is the
means,
female joint, right?
yep. On the flip side, expect to see a lot more Japanese women you never heard of on AEW programming. And also, my San Francisco Giants won in a walk-off fashion. We won for the Baby Bowl, Orlando Cepeda. But we'll probably wrap up since I hear the boys heading their way to you.
Let's see if we could get this up before we get out of here. Hold on. Got something for them. Razor said he want them to succeed. I'm not playing so nice. I'm just kidding, though.
Arena empty, wrestling all, Lexus wing. E-dub, yeah, that shit is a dub. Give him some love. No. 20 belts. Not enough to keep your class up. We only came to see Tony Storm at that ass up. Then swerve when we ride in the black truck. Fuck a ego.
I'm screaming.
Fuck a ego. Fuck a ego.
Track. I'm pro professional wrestling. I can't take this man seriously right now.
Yo, AEW, I'm just fucking with y'all, man. Oh, that shit is too funny, yo. 20 belts, couldn't get your class up. Oh, that's a bar.
Also, earlier today, Mercedes Monet was was tracked down by TMZ Sports. She was asked if she consider going back to WWE whenever. All she stated was, "I have everything I love right now, and I'm happy." She plugged Forbidden Door and then bounced.
See, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is what I like. I don't know why in life people like do this political shit for real, like where it's like unless it's contractually like you can't speak about it. If you could contractually speak.
Well, it's 100% Tony Khan stating, "You better say you love us or else."
Or else what? I'll send you home and pay you for your services.
Or else you won't be on TV.
Now the question is, do you still get paid not being on TV?
Now, from what I understand, some folks are on a strict contract to where they're getting their money. Others are on a pay per appearance deal. So it ain't the same for everybody. Also, as announced by the man himself this morning, Jim Ross will be at Forbidden Door. Glad to see he's doing well. He had a little medical scare recently.
Shout out to good old JR.
Now, the question is, what match are they going to stick him on? Which match would be justifiably worthy of him saying that someone's tougher than a $2 steak or getting beat by a government mule?
We're bringing out the classic one-liners.
Also, there's a rumor that now I haven't seen this confirmed by anybody yet or even solidified by anybody, but there's a chance sometime soon we could be seeing Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler together on commentary with AEW. How do you feel about that?
Again, this is one of those situations for me where it's like, do we really need to relive the old shit? Like remember that shit I sent you with Shabani and he's over? Like, this is the thing that people don't understand. Like, if you look hard enough, you'll find the clips. And people used to complain about Vince in people ear. I think Tony Khan be in people ear too.
Oh, most definitely.
That's just how the business works. When you overseeing the show, that's gonna happen. I don't think we need Jerry the King. To me, he was more of like a hype man. I really wouldn't say he was like maybe behind the scenes, but like on commentary though.
You don't want to hear the sound of Jerry the King Lawler creaming his pants when he sees Mariah May, Tony Storm, and Mina Shirakawa bumping uglies.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, I mean,
it was cool back then, but now it's like, chill out, OG.
Yeah. You know what made it cool back then? That he was, like you said, he's still younger, so he could play that lane. Like now you in your Ric Flair lane, like chill.
Yeah. Also in AEW's media call last night, I think Tony Khan eked out that Forbidden Door this weekend is almost at 10,000 tickets sold.
800.
But again, it's like, one, you move from Arthur Ashe because New Japan said we ain't paying your bill. You move somewhere else. Essentially, last minute, it's like, the fuck do you expect? And again, like, New Japan shouldn't have to pay for your bills in general. That's my opinion.
That shit is unheard of. It should be how WWE and TNA got their shit going on. Oh, you want to work this shit on your setting? All right, we'll send you a player. Vice versa.
But this is supposed to be a cross-branded show, but throughout history, it's always been very pro AEW. I think New Japan Talent has won less than 20% of the time they've been featured in a joint match. And yeah, it's been definitely pro AEW and just a fuck you to Japan. So I can see why they're like, we're not paying for shit. If that was the actual story, or if Tony Khan just got cheap because he knows that Warner Brothers don't want to fuck with them anymore, so they got to save money so that way they can still pay their talent whenever Warner Brothers says, here's the door. They'll only hit you in the ass on the way out.
Yeah.
But again, these next few weeks, so sometime this in the month of July of this year, their negotiation window ends, and after that, I think there will be no deal set if nothing's put pen to paper after this month. So after October, they could be on a Fight TV trailer. They could be on Bleacher Report. Maybe they'll be just strictly on Honor Club. Maybe they'll
I'll be
be
dead if
strictly
they
on
go to
YouTube.
Peacock.
Ain't no way how they're going to Peacock because Peacock has WWE for a couple more years, I think.
Mm.
And then the rumor is once that the Peacock deal ends, I guess Netflix has already called dibs on everything else that WWE has. And Netflix is already ready to pay whatever WWE wants for everything else. That's how you run a business, kids.
Yup. Lock it down.
You build up your product to where folks are fighting for your shit, and then you sell to the highest bidder.
Hell yeah.
You can't just... You can only go so far in stating that we're not WWE, we're not Vince McMahon. Guess what? Vince ain't there no more.
Yeah, that's not a. I've been saying that too. That's another reason why that whole little argument is done for me.
And as of right now, all jokes aside, Tony Khan better hope to God this Wyatt Six stuff crashes and burns because that's his only shot left.
Yeah, it should take off. It's over.
He better pray to God above that crashes and burns, because if that takes off too, I'm sorry, like you will forever be fighting a losing battle. NXT already smoked you 2 weeks in a row. I didn't see what NXT numbers were this past week. I just saw that WWE had a little bit more, or AEW had a little bit more, but still, it's like the C show is beating the A show, and you can accredit that to the quote unquote main roster influence. Well, guess what? Much like when NXT beat Dynamite head up. Was it last year, whatever, when they had Taker, Cena pop up, or whatever, and Cody? You take those segments out alone, NXT still smokes your ass like nothing. So, it's how soon before we start the joke that Dynamite can't beat Level Up?
I don't know what those numbers are, but
Dante Chen versus Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
Screaming.
That could be the matchup in the next couple years.
But yeah, man, that's it. Yeah, cause we could be here forever talk about AEW, man.
He said on that note, I'm getting the fuck off this ship.
Hell yeah, we gotta go now.
He said, I refuse.
Yeah, cause we could definitely pick it back when we see what they about to do, and then we got more shit to go off of. But right now, we could continue to just keep touching on their misfires and what they should be doing. Cause it's a lot.
But to be honest, but just a little quick glimpse of Raw. Have you seen the card for Raw yet?
Nah.
Oh, I saw it a few days ago. It's actually not a bad Raw, to be honest. Where is it at? Where is it at? I'm trying. I don't know if I sent it to you or not, or if it may have been last week's. Let's see. Oh no, that was last week that I was looking at. Never mind. I stand corrected. Well, yeah, so we should get what the fine. Does each Money in the Bank participant needs one more person, right?
Yep.
So tomorrow or Monday will probably get the men's. Friday will probably get the women's. My assumption.
The women's has one more.
Men's, I believe, has one more as well.
And there's one missing from Raw on the women's side.
Okay, wait, so is Raw gonna have both qualifier matches then?
Possibly. SmackDown had 3 of them tonight.
So does Drew get in the qualifier?
So I'm looking at it right now. As of 8 hours ago, Rey Mysterio takes on Dominic Mysterio. Zoe Stark versus Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile. Money in the Bank qualifying match.
We're also getting Liv Morgan versus Zelina Vega for the women's championship.
Yep, and Sheamus versus Drew Mack versus Ilya for that qualifying.
That's gonna be one hell of a match. I don't care who wins that match. That better be the main event.
You know what's funny about this though? I'm gonna be honest. I just peeped something about this blunt. I'm gonna send it to you. It says Sheamus versus Drew versus Ilya, but they still have the picture of Ludwig.
Ooh. The plot thickens. Interesting. But also, my next question to you is, will we start seeing more noticeable cracks within Judgment Day next week, since we have Liv in a match and Dom versus Ray again? Because it was Liv Morgan who got them the tag team title match. It was Liv Morgan who helped them win the tag team title match. Liv Morgan got Dom another match against his daddy. And you have everybody on board with it for the most part, and you have Priest saying Rhea's not going to like this, and everyone's like, this ain't that bad.
Oh, it's definitely going to start some shit there.
Rhea is about to beat the dog shit out of everybody. And again, I got touched on a few weeks ago. We could very likely see Rhea draw blood from Dominic. I'm not ruling that out at all.
That would be crazy.
We're going to see some shit similar to Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton type shit to where she starts pawing on him and then, boom, just cuts his ass open.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
I'm here for the chaos.
Hell yeah. But again, chat, until the next one. HD, Razor, Snake Eyes. We see y'all, man.
Salud.